Good evening, good morrow, and good day, and welcome to another edition of Slice and Dice here with the Manylands campaign. We're nearly, can you believe, up to 30
This is
episodes.
29, yeah?
We're on 29 today.
So 29.
Yeah, 29. Next week's the big 3-0, growing up. First of all, before we get into the stream today, hello everybody. Hello. You're all there.
Greetings.
So the first thing we should say, in fact,
Shameless plug.
first of all, is that if you haven't done so already, join our Discord. We've now got our sign up for the Discord, so that even if you're watching us on YouTube, you can just copy that little link there and write it into your browser and whatever, and you should find our Discord channel. So try that out.
Please join. Drake Lazarus won't stop putting anti-Seth ones in the hashtag fate dice.
Yes,
please, someone else.
Drake's not watching this episode.
Have another suggestion.
He's not watching this episode.
Oh, no.
He's busy.
We have
Please get rid of Drake.
we have many
Stage the
different stage the coup. We have many different channels within our Discord, and one of those being Fate Dice. So if you want to make suggestions for hashtag Fate Dice for things that happen without
Launch Operation
within the game,
Removal now. Do it.
then go and check that out and have a look. And we're always posting inane memes and just general D&D content quite a lot, quite prolifically. So yeah, come and join in the conversation when you're not watching us on here.
Nerd shit.
Simply the best memes.
Simply the best. Sorry. I'm glad
Yes.
you followed me on
No,
that. I was
if
concerned
you-
it wasn't going to go anywhere.
If you hadn't done it, I am going to be completely honest, I would have.
Yeah,
So,
fair enough. We're on a wavelength. This is why
Last
you're
week,
next to me.
There
Because
would have
we've
been
got
complete
this.
silence. We would have clipped that and sent it everywhere.
Yeah, that would have happened. There would have been crickets, most likely.
If I set these jokes up, someone's got to knock them down.
There you go. Meanwhile,
Yes. Anyway, aside from that, does anyone else have any announcements, any points of order before we jump in tonight?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
There's a cracking picture of James behind your head, Jack.
Oh,
Move
fudge
your
off.
head.
Shameless plug.
that is...
This
That is... Oh, baby.
this picture here of James's was my prop when we did James's one shot, the superhero one shot. Which there we go, shameless plug.
Yeah.
You should go and check that out on our YouTube channel in its entirety. It was glorious. It was a lot of fun. I was
Now,
playing Deadpool.
your eyes are more open than that. And a bit,
Yes,
a bit more,
that's true.
More open,
So I was playing Deadpool in
Yeah,
that,
that's better.
and
Yeah, yeah.
Deadpool
Great.
had a patron. He had an arcane focus, and a patron, which was the DM. In this case, James, and so he had a picture of him. So I brought it with me, which is a lot of fun. And I decided to put it up this time as there's really nothing going on behind me in that area. So I was like, let's put him in there. So that's nice. Anyway,
He's always watching over you.
he's always. I feel like the other DM, is watching over me always, and it's when he's not in the room. I have this up for the rest of the week when you're not here. I'm just kidding. I don't. That'll
Start
work.
the game.
Let's start. Shall we move on? Yes. Let's jump in with tonight's
Hit
episode
the sound
of
effect.
Slight of
Slight.
hand. No, slice and dice.
Non-short rest asleep.
And we are back. Yes, you are non-short rest asleep. You're quite right. So last
Worst
time,
time.
guys, you were getting to the bottom of this werewolf poisoning at the banquet, and your investigation, such as it was, had led you to the dovecotes, and inside you found a trail leading down a sort of a hidden passageway that was hidden by transmutation magic. But fortunately, your warlock here was able to discover it with his detect magic, which has been been so damn useful.
Game-breakingly excellent ability.
It's been very good. So that
means
served
I'm
you
like a
served you
dictionary of
well.
Jack. Useful means annoying.
No, not at all. I think at first it was like, damn it, and now I'm just like, no, this is cool, man. It's his thing. Let's give him reason to use it, right? Anyway,
It's Zone of Truth that chaps his briefs.
yes, it's Zone of Truth. You only used that once, but it was good fun. Or was it twice? Anyway.
A couple of times.
Anyway, also Leobrin being invariably useful with one of his newest spells, the multiple familiars, I forget what it's called. Flock of Familiars, that was it, which I've looked into, and you can find it on Lost Laboratory of Qualish. which is licensed content. Go look it up.
Don't search that first part before the word Qualish then.
Anyway, summoned a flock of familiars, sending one of them down into this passageway, and discovered it was actually an undercroft underneath, full of sarcophagi, and then it seemingly died and disappeared into the ether, being slain by something. So this caused some alarm. Meanwhile, the other two familiars have been keeping an eye on your friend and ally Howland Cragmere as he left the manor, going to try and find Laney and Gant Bron, who suddenly disappeared, dimensioning door out of the banqueting hall when all the crap went down with the werewolves. Anyway, you guys venture downstairs, the four of you, and you find, Fleeting Look and Rexlan and Kajira in the charge of the two werewolves that you managed to capture. The four of you head down, and after some sneaking around, happened upon a two-headed dog, which appeared to be guarding something. It lashed out to attack you before its master, out of the darkness through a dagger, nearly killing Seth. It brought him unconscious. Poison entered into his bloodstream, but fortunately you were able to heal him because, well, you had Malar with you for one thing. So everything's fine.
Travelling dispensary in the shape of a man.
To be honest, after
The elephant shape of a man.
the elephant, quite literally in the room.
Hey!
You managed to, after that sort of brush of death, you managed to, actually the encounter was relatively straightforward after that. You managed to apprehend, knocking out in a very colourful way the assassin, the would-be assassin, who was in disguise as the butler Adams. It turned out it wasn't Adams at all. It was in fact an elven made of some variety, assassin type, in dark robes. You haven't got any information from her yet, as she was unconscious and has been ever since. But you did find a gilded mask, a black mask with a gold trim around it, which I believe Leobrin has picked up and has been investigated, looking at this time. That was the hiss of...
Yeah, have taken a short rest to
Oh yeah, that's right.
analyse and identify, and Jack
well,
it into
we
my...
haven't finished the rest just yet.
We haven't finished the rest.
Are we
just
still
yet.
resting?
You started the rest, but we'll get to that. So after capturing her, slaying the dog, obviously, you then brought her upstairs and went back to Rexlan and Co. and discovered that Fleeting Look was missing. He'd been sent to close the curtains to make sure the full moon wasn't shining into the room and potentially setting off more werewolves, sleeper agents and whatnot. And he himself went missing, which has set alarm bells. So you sent one of the familiars off to try and find him, and eventually found a slightly furry-looking Fleeting Look at the centre of the maze, using your familiar. So the four of you decide you need to bring him in, make sure he's safe. So you head towards the maze, which he had warned you about beforehand, saying not to go there. But despite this, you overcome it and you head towards the maze. You get over the first part of the maze, being the actual, not going into dead ends, quite easily with your familiar. Got used to that. But you then come across a large flower pod, about 2 feet wide, that's hanging over the next part of the maze. There are roots and vines sort of overgrown in this area, and after some tentative searching around, eventually it starts firing needles at you. This pod, it opens up and starts firing them towards the party. It hit Malar, and instantly he falls unconscious into a sort of a catatonic, into an unconscious and sleeping state.
Deep and dreamless sleep.
Deep and dreamless sleep, exactly. Tranquilized, effectively. The rest of you, then, with your now
Hey,
2 bodies to
Ket
drag,
is for horses. Just say nay.
you do your best to try and get through this the reeds which seem to try and grab you. These vines, they seem to try and restrain you as you push your way through whilst carrying your charges with you. And it was the Oberyn once again to the rescue, with his druid craft being able to keep the flower pod closed while the rest of you managed to get across. Unfortunately, it does open again before you can destroy it, and in that last needle that it sets off hits Seth, and shortly after the combat, he too falls unconscious on top of Malar. And with just 2 of you left, conscious, and 3 bodies around you, you decide that now's probably a good time to take a rest and see how long it take these guys to wake
Well,
up.
these two guys are unconscious. Might as well join them.
How much longer do you want to be dragging Malar around? 7 foot tall, 250 pounds of just grey.
I think what would be great
skin.
if we just went into combat with fleeting with with 2 unconscious people, 1 tied up person who's also unconscious.
You can feed her to them.
Yeah, it'd be great. Just me and Brukon.
Yeah.
But you had a baller session last session, so I'm just saying.
Me and
So he's due an absolute shitter now.
Brukon with
Con saves all the
no
way.
key points, maybe?
Well, if we're about to have a short rest, he gets more back.
Yeah, but we haven't had it yet.
No, this is true.
So-
How did he take damage? At all?
That's
Because
Brukon.
he's at
7 HP.
on D&D Beyond. He's at full health.
7 HP.
Okay.
Oh, okay. There we are.
So yes.
So use that wheel. 7 HP remaining.
Used. 7 HP lost.
Oh, that's not bad.
So-
Well,
so-
alrighty
You
then.
got hit once. I took care of you.
But
Well,
was he down to 0 key?
Yes.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
no,
the 2
I've got all the key points registered as used.
Yeah, I kept track of that. I didn't get the health points.
Yeah.
And we're not have one yet.
Right, I mean, by the sounds of it.
Cool. So the 2 of you are settling down to rest. Can you both make perception checks for me?
They're both being.
You two who are conscious.
These 2
We're
are
unconscious.
asleep. Yeah.
What?
It's a 2-man party.
They're not, and
Yeah.
unfortunately for Malar and Seth, because of the effect, you won't have the benefits of a short rest because you are involuntarily unconscious.
Nice.
17 plus anything?
Oh,
That's
no.
it.
17.
Oh no, it's
Okay,
dead.
nice.
That's why I'm happy that the whole roll was high.
Yes.
There ain't nothing on top.
Oh, that's cocked. I
That
cannot.
looked nice,
I
but it was
cannot.
cocked, yes.
I cannot, in all
Super
good conscience, volunteer that natural 20 as an actual natural 20.
It was an unnatural.
However, 21.
Oh yeah.
All
is
right,
an
so you
acceptable
both, it's a
alternative.
good job the perceptive members of the party are still up because
Your
That was just a real good roll.
high wisdom,
Possible.
so that gives you a boost.
+3.
It's better
about
than my +0.
so you keep vigil as the 2 of your friends here are resting, and it is about after 20 minutes or so that first Brukon and then Leobrin, you notice something moving in the hedgerow either side of you. So you're sort of in the middle of the maze. You've got 10-foot high hedgerows either side of you, and just ahead of you, it seems there's a rustling. It's like you almost have to question yourself and do a double take, because it's not as if the leaves themselves are rustling. It's more that it seems like the branch itself moves something moves within the hedgerow itself without disturbing it.
But
Are
just
we-
ahead of us, not.
So on both sides ahead of you, yes. So further into the maze.
Brookham looks in the direction of Milburn, who presumably is sat kind of covering. Presumably we're on watch, so we're aiming for roughly equal coverage, and sort of looks at Leobrin and tries not to move too much, and sort of goes, "You picking that up as well?"
I saw a thing. We'll check for a thing, and
This
I
is
will.
much more your area of expertise.
I
than
will
mine.
detect magic. See if there's magic happening.
So as you do so, the detect magic goes out. Nothing ahead of you. What you're picking up is not anything magical immediately in front of you. You're getting a strange sense of magic coming from to your right, further into the maze.
Okay.
Somewhere near the centre, there appears you can't get a school of magic as yet, but there seems to be a magical essence further on.
There's not magic ahead of us where the movement is, but there is magic further into the maze, so we should be on the lookout for that when we get there. Next stage of problem detecting.
Mirror signal maneuver.
Yeah.
Magic detect.
Is there an object around here that I can? But is there like a rock or a stick that I can?
You could certainly snap one out of the
I'm gonna
hedgerow by you.
snap off a branch or whatever. I'm going to bop in my mage hand. I'm going to give it to my mage hand, and I'm going to send my mage hand forward with this stick.
And you send it ahead of you,
Yeah,
and it passes right to the. up ahead of you, roughly about...
How far away is this movement?
The movement is within about 10 feet of you.
Perfect.
It's
Okay.
close. So it goes past Mage Hand, heads straight on towards the corner.
Yeah, I mean, I feel.
pull you back a little
I feel like this is a bit more. What?
I think
what's up?
just scoot you guys 5 feet back. I think it will be accurate.
Yeah, but I mean more that.
The position.
If we were watching.
Yeah. Oh, so that you can see past them. Yes, I got you. Okay.
Oh, damn midget!
having a sit
Damn
down,
midget
or
It
legs!
doesn't have movable legs. So yes, you keep an eye ahead of you, and nothing's. The twig floats by on the Mage Hand.
Poking the branches where the movement was.
And poking the branches. Okay. As you do so, they start moving, and again you notice this movement coming from this area. The movement inside the hedgerow doesn't seem to be disturbing it, but your Mage Hand most certainly is. Can you both roll initiative, please?
Do it.
Oh no.
Cool, guys with no
In the
key,
middle of
no
a
spells.
short rest.
Woo! It's what you want.
Oh,
That was
Strong disagree with everything that's happening right now.
Oh my god.
I'm enjoying it.
That's amazing.
That's not what we want to hear.
I feel like one of
now,
James and Jack should roll all Brucon's initiative rolls.
Now, I fell asleep on top of Mala.
Yes.
Can his sleeping flatulence wake me up?
No. Unfortunately not. In the same way as being shaken awake should normally wake you up. This doesn't. Because you tried it on him, if you remember.
And my trunk is then over the
A
top.
chemically induced
I was like-
sleep.
Well, I rolled it into a pile of other dice. And
So
got
tell
a
me,
real crappy
any,
result.
so you two, anyone get a 20 or above?
No.
Okay. What did you guys get?
16?
16?
7.
16, 7. Okay. Alright. Let's bring up the action camera.
Every time
Yeah,
you
let's
roll,
do
I'm always waiting for you to put one on me. 2 to you, 3 to you, 4 to me, 5 to me, 6 to me, 7 to me. And we're like, no,
No.
stop, Jack.
No, stop giving us things. Stop giving us some
And but
things.
for the longest while, he only has one character on board.
Yeah.
Like 2 rounds of combat.
Yeah.
That's
That's the worst.
Let us watch in detail the deaths of our characters.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is the one that you detected, that your Mage Hand was coming in, and so you see him coming, so he does not get any sort of surprise on you. However, another one appears from this one here, which you hadn't caught sight of, and this one
Oh, jolly good.
surprises you as it
Jumps,
jumps.
goes towards you. These entities, they're about 3 feet high, composed entirely of wood, bracken branches, and they're like miniature ents. If you're going to use a
This
Lord
is
of the
someone's
Rings
house.
version.
They invited us to go into this maze.
Well, they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's shady.
Fuck him, I'm glad he's dead.
So
dead.
this one makes an attack
Come,
against-
check out my maze. You
against
may not
Brucon.
get murdered.
And with advantage, rolled 2 12s. That's
Ha!
interesting. So that's so that's 15 altogether.
No.
15 misses. All right.
I was so hoping that double burst. It was like, so that's 2 12s, that's 20 to hit. It's like,
Tai Chi.
Given that you're alert at this time, as you are as you're
Needs
keeping
lets, and
watch,
I am one of them.
it seems that you are at one with your key, at one with the you
One
feel,
with all the key I
you
no
feel-
longer have.
You feel the balance within you, and this balance gives you a shift, pivoting you slightly to the left,
We're asleep.
and you follow this
Make
movement
us later.
in a kind of lotus position, in that kind of meditative state almost. You naturally lean to one side, and as you do so, you feel this air as this twig swipes past you.
I'm a leaf on the wind.
Exactly
Wait, that's
so.
a bad precedent. No, I didn't say that.
I float away.
Please don't harpoon me through the chest.
The second one, which you did see, comes out to attack, so it doesn't get advantage, but it comes out to go for Brucon nonetheless, and that's worse. So you managed to fend off these two twigs that are attacking you. So that's them. Over to you, Leo.
Right, good times, good
Don't worry,
good,
the shit for the chest
good for the good
happened last
spells.
week.
I mean, I guess I'm just gonna blast stuff is the best system for
I
this.
didn't mean to be doing that, so
Yeah.
just hit down.
Eldritch Blast to the one.
Of course, these are actually smaller than I am.
The one that's not directly.
I'm gonna
behind.
say I'm gonna say I'll be there on the grounds that then we've
Yeah.
got.
It was either way. I was gonna shoot the one that you weren't directly
Yeah,
in front of. So I had line of sight.
Yes,
That just
Queen.
goes completely all over nowhere.
Oh no.
No queen.
Just up and I'm just like, ah!
Somewhere in the distance you hear.
Boom.
Turn around. There's
I sent a
fireworks
warning
show.
flare, Brucon. Maybe they'll come save us.
Fight the power! Okay, are you moving at all, Leobrin?
No.
Keeping guard over your guys.
He sends the flare up. He's like, maybe Malar will. Oh no. Maybe Seth will. No. Fleet. No. No. Oh shit.
Who have we got left? Brucon, over to you.
Yeah.
No pressure. Kill them.
Yeah. Fuck
I
them
mean,
Yeah.
options are pretty limited here.
They're
So,
smaller than you. They are regarded as small creatures.
Go for stab and touch.
but I'm not really in a position to make an enormous amount of hay out of that, really. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. Okay.
Right? Yeah.
I do still have the option to attacks, and I've got some funky other stuff I can deploy as well, but not quite ready to do that. So, Brucon's going to focus on the one directly in front of him and level a chop with the kukri, and then endeavour
You
to follow it
can
up.
do your attacks separately. I would suggest you can.
No, I'm definitely not doing that.
Like roll one, see if it hits, then roll the second one. I'm just saying because there are
DM
reasons.
who knows how much
There's a
HP
good
they
chance
have.
that
Yes.
like twin
There's a good
fights.
chance you could one-shot these things. They're not particularly powerful looking.
Fine, okay, well,
Why don't you just do the one
alright,
attack
short
first?
sword against this one here.
All of the threats.
Excuse me.
Well, I rolled a. Let me just double check here. Let's just be absolutely certain about this. It's very important to not get any of these things wrong. And it's just conceivable that I rolled a 9.
9. Unfortunately, 9 misses.
No, okay.
They were thinner than you were anticipating, so you lunged forward with the kukri.
Well, bonus attack for an unarmed strike, and that's a 22.
22 hits, 12 damage.
Okay, so D4 plus 4, 6 damage.
And in your frustration with missing with the kukri, you just like power chop into it, and it just disintegrates as you hit it.
Fair enough.
You just blow it apart. That's one down. Yeah, they have not got a lot of HP, these things.
Good.
They're not particularly powerful. But anyway, that's your turn. Are you moving at all?
Yes.
Pivot round. Yes. Good manoeuvres. All right.
Classic
Never let
pincer.
that go.
So it's now their turn.
Yeah.
So it's going to make a lunge for you. That's 3 on the dice. Will miss. But Leobrin, as you see, as you're
coming
focusing on
about
these
his
two
house.
ahead, you do not notice something jump out from the hedge to your left, straight towards you. Does a 12 hit?
No!
I didn't think so. Honestly, these are bad.
Consume a penis.
Ha! Another one comes out the tree line.
At you. That's them. Over to you, Leobrin.
Cool. Originally very much positive about the situation, and then suddenly less so.
Any touch range spells?
I am thinking that. Well, that's what I was going to do with the other guy. I might. Yeah, I think I'm just going to club with the staff.
So you're good with blunt. With simple weapons. So
Yep.
that should be fine.
Because
So this thing lunges at me. I'm like,
I was going to say it's war.
that's a 10 to hit.
10 unfortunately misses.
And I go.
Not used to wielding a
that?
staff. You're much
Oh,
more
that's
used to
6.
ranged
Yeah.
combat as you try to swipe into this
You
one.
find yourself in a position where what you're mostly focused on is not punting Seth in the head by accident.
Oh, have I got?
Swing and miss above its small open head.
I've got nothing else I can do at this point.
Okay. Brucon.
Do the exact same thing as the
Cookie.
disaster. Yeah, just chop,
Parkour.
chop. 21.
Hits. Roll that damage.
That's extremely cocked. On a real roll for this, they're 9 damage,
Yes,
which
again,
by a logical extension.
You definitely cleave for this one down. You can
Dice
embellish
roll.
this if you wish.
Just
Just get it done.
chunk.
All right.
Just Brucon needs a bit of a run up for the full stunt action. Speaking of run ups,
was mid nap and has been interrupted.
yeah, so it's just like, oh god, what on earth are you? Yeah, get out of here. Right, 5, 10, 15. Okay, we count these guys as difficult terrain, I guess. Yeah,
Yes.
20, 25, 30, 35. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can,
Yes,
you can
yeah.
get there. That's fine.
Yeah.
Put in melee.
And yeah,
Unarmed
just
strike.
stand there.
Do
No,
it.
no,
Oh no, no.
can't do it. It's when you make an attack action.
Okay, and you did.
Yeah.
The other one.
can.
So I can't then.
You can run over and then hit it.
When
with
you
your
make an
arm.
attack action, you
Yeah.
can expend a bonus action to make an additional attack.
Oh, you've already done 2 strikes, did you? Have you then? I thought you just.
Well,
did
I
one.
killed it in
No.
one.
Yeah, so you've got your bonus action to unarmed attack.
No, but what the ruling says for the monks are not designed. What the wording says is, when you make an attack action,
Mhm.
you may make a bonus action
Mhm.
to make an additional unarmed attack.
Mhm.
It doesn't say, like, if I had extra attack,
Mhm.
I could split them. But I'm not aware of a logic that justifies the splitting the bonus attack. But I will double check in case.
I mean, it's
I'm
up to
wrong.
you, but I would say that because it's a bonus
vaguely
action,
worded
you can,
enough.
in the same way as a
but the problem is I don't-
multi-attack means you can attack 2 targets.
So the trouble is I don't
With
think
your
it is
attack
very
action,
vague.
if you're using a bonus action, you can equally attack a different target. It's not a because it's a separate bonus action anyway.
Yeah.
Immediately after you take the attack action on your
Yeah.
turn.
Oh,
Okay, there we go.
immediately.
No,
Oh, important rules
No.
lawyering against yourself, but I appreciate that. Okay.
It's honesty.
Yeah. I'll give you
I
that.
it just feels.
I think you can make it against different things. They say.
Yeah, you can make it different.
Yeah, but he's moved and then.
Yeah,
so
so it's-
No, the
Yes, you can make-
immediately was for flurry of blows, not for the default bonus attack.
No, for the default bonus attack. So it's like, yes, you can move between attacks. You can even go further and do the bonus unarmed strike before you do the attack action to trigger.
All right, fair
It's
enough.
been
It looked
confirmed
it
by
looked
Jeremy
to me like.
Crawford.
I'm happy
looks
to let
me
you
like-
do it.
Okay,
Yeah, it
sweet.
says, it
Well,
says it's been confirmed
well,
by
okay.
Jeremy.
All right. Okay, well, so what we'll say is that Brucon will do a diving roll with it flips the
Yeah.
kukri, so it's the other way, does a diving roll, decapitates the marionette thingy, the thing from a Eastern European terrifying horror film.
Yeah, this is a twisted
In a
Pinocchio.
forward roll, does a little kind of forward leap thing, and uses the forward momentum to attempt to kick this guy in the neck.
Oh right.
Do,
Okay.
do they have necks
Of sorts.
in the neck
It's
neckle
vaguely-
zone?
It's vaguely humanoid
Yeah,
shaped,
yeah.
so yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, the bit above the center of the bit just above the center of mass.
The bit that looks a bit like a head.
That's where the aim is, but that's a 9 again. So no.
Ah, and after all that discussion,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
did nothing.
After all that-
No.
It's
Never
It's an
mind.
option for the future.
But thank you for that. Okay, so there's one left. I think it's going to continue its assault on Leobrin at this time.
Oh, what? That's fine. I think I can take an attack from one of these.
Okay, you said-
22 to hit.
You say
That
it's
does
fine.
hit me.
Rolled a 19. That's
It does hit me, as long as that wasn't the roll for damage.
No,
We're good.
Roll for damage. You take. Oh no! Oh, you take 3 points of piercing damage.
9 billion
as
damage.
one of its.
1/3 gone.
As one of its wooden shaft-like branch pseudopod type arrangements lunges into you,
Pseudopod.
into your leg.
Don't get shafted like that.
Pseudopod.
Oh, anyway, an arm.
Curious wooden.
A wooden
hybrid
shaft-like
thing
arm.
going on,
Fudge them
Yeah.
up.
It's not a tentacle.
It looks like a
got
foot,
that
but it's
wrong.
not a real foot.
Anyway,
So
yes.
What's that film?
Go. I will attack this thing again. Yeah, I'm gonna swing this staff. Or am I gonna cast the staff? I'm gonna swing the staff. I'm not going crazy here. That is a 15 to
Hits.
hit. Yay!
Okay, let's roll some damage.
Smack it in the face. Oh wait, I didn't say whether I was doing 100 or 200. It.
Doesn't matter. You rolled a d6, so I'm assuming you're doing it one-handed.
Yeah, I already rolled it. That's the problem. Because it's in small letters. 4.
4 is exactly what you need
Yay!
to destroy the last of these twiggy-like beings.
Rukon, look. I killed it with my staff.
Nicely done.
It's not ornamental.
I can do melee combat.
He is admittedly a loner.
Congratulations, you are now a man.
Yes.
You will be front and centre in the next combat.
Yeah, I am a melee character.
Let's get down to business.
So, with that
Yes.
interruption
Defeat.
over...
The twigs.
Sorry. With that interruption over, you guys find the area around you in the maze now goes quiet again. It seems the immediate threat has been taken care of, and you are free now to continue resting. should
Good,
you choose
yes.
to.
That sounds good.
Yeah, you can definitely. Yeah, you can split those moves up.
Fair enough.
Having a read.
It seemed from the wording like it was intended for that not to be the case, but I am happy to discover that that is wrong.
You've taken an attack action, so.
But
in
I
that
appreciate
turn-
the honesty nonetheless, though. That was, yeah, fair enough, because it was to your detriment anyway, so it's very much appreciated. Anyway, so with that taken care of, you pass by the next hour, keeping eye over your two. Towards the end, about 20 minutes before the end of your hour, these two then wake up.
I wake up just before Seth.
They wake up.
Yes,
I
those.
thought you were like, haha, you thought you had a short rest this time, but you still don't.
You're still doing the twigs reanimates. No.
I wake up
So-
12 seconds before Seth.
Yeah.
Just going to continue for the rest of the session, just constantly dangling short rests in front of us.
But is there anything, Leoben, I believe, did you want to inspect the item during
I mean,
your
I was going to
short
spend
rest?
the hour, inspecting that.
Okay.
I'm also going to, now that I've had taken damage, use a hit die.
Fair enough.
Cool. Excellent. Good
Have
old.
you ever taken damage that didn't kill you?
Just now.
Besides this one.
I
I think the only time you've taken damage is against the ice giant.
I've taken damage. Cave ceiling fell on me twice.
Yep.
Once it knocked me
The
unconscious.
basilisk.
The second time it didn't.
Yeah.
Or the other way around. I can't remember.
That's what I remember that.
Yeah.
That got pretty intense, I seem to remember. So anyway, you inspect this item during this time, and you kind of zone out of what's happening with the rest of your group around you as you're doing this, checking out this item. You flick on Detect Magic. The item itself does not appear to be magical when you examine it. However, at the end of the hour, you've grasped that there is in fact something magical about it despite its appearance. It seems to have some kind of divination that shields it from being viewed as magical. What you learn, well, it's on your D&D Beyond if you want to look at it. But
I've had a look.
you've had a look at it. Basically, you learn that there are properties you can use with this to essentially use for illusions, to disguise yourself, to mimic things, and it seems that this is the ideal sort of cloaking device for an assassin. Can you make a history check for me as well, please?
10.
10.
That's why I roll good on that.
So the mask itself bears some semblance to the cloak of the captive you now have. It seems to be a similarity. I mean, first of all, her cloak is black with a gold sort of stitching in it of the mask, and the embroidery. It seems a similar style to the mask that you now have in your possession, and that would suggest that this belongs to some kind of order, some sort of organisation seems to be behind this. This isn't just a one-off. There are probably more of these masks in the world.
Not a cottage industry item, it's mass produced.
Quite.
Therefore,
the evil of industry.
Meanwhile,
the true enemy.
the true enemy. Damn it. Damn this mechanisation. So anyway, for the rest of you,
Nature warlock.
A new power is rising.
so you two wake up one after the other,
3D
come to your
printing.
senses, find yourselves looking directly into the starry, clear sky. Feel the cold of the night come over you two as you wake, and realise you're still in the maze.
Have you killed Fleeting?
I will be wearing the mask. I'm not attuned to it, but I'll be wearing the mask and go, ooh.
Fleeting?
Are you sure that's a good move with someone of your max HP? Like it's just involuntary.
Yeah, you are lucky you're doing this
Whoops!
set.
I appear to have been vaporized because my max
from a
HP is
distance.
nothing.
From a distance. What was the question?
Is Fleeting still alive? How long have
As
we been
far
asleep?
we
As far
can't
as
say we can't say with authority what Fleeting's current position is.
We decided not to take him on ourselves.
Yes.
Good plan. So he's...
/ decided we didn't want to have to worry about you.
Have we moved anywhere since we fell asleep?
No.
No.
Some strange small twig things attacked. Keep an eye out for that.
Just came out of walls.
The tiny little twig people.
All you can see on the ground around you are just fragments, debris,
So
just wood,
Twiglets.
bits
Twig
of
people
branches
attacks.
and twigs.
Would a face
You
like
sure-
this lie to you?
you sure you didn't just, hack at the maze a bit?
Believe me, I wish I was in some kind of drug-induced hallucination right now, but sadly that's not the kind of party that we wound
I'm
up
sensing
attending.
a pattern.
Yes.
I know what to get Groot on for his birthday.
Schnapps. Schnapps all the way.
So,
Wormwood, baby.
so the two of you, Leober and Brucon, you have benefited from a short rest. Did you guys want a short rest as well? Did you want to have another? Do you want to take another hour, or are you happy to continue?
No, we'll go. Hopefully, how close is it to morning?
So it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. So you're nowhere
God.
near daylight currently.
Okay.
It's been a long evening.
Hopefully, Fleeting's still in the middle. Even in wolf form, I'm hoping he's still fleeting. That he's not left.
This
So
is like the worst kind of hangover for you guys like,
Let's-
after the party.
Looking at the sky and the clouds, or is it quite clear night?
It's pretty clear.
Oh, I suppose we should probably continue on then. And I would like to
Let's go.
scoop up our captive and just.
is she still asleep?
Yep, she appears to be. Actually,
Can I?
make perception checks?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I check to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
if she's
yeah.
really
Appears
asleep?
to be asleep.
Hang on. Did that not?
5.
How do I
5.
short rest?
14.
14. Yeah. Again, looking at her, she
Top
appears
of
to
the
be
page.
completely asleep. Nothing
Pick on
has
your,
changed.
click on your
since
picture.
before.
Can I just
No, but then how
give
do
a
I actually
slap
get it to
just
do
in
it?
case?
Oh, you got to click the button
Okay.
twice.
That
Once and
might
then
wake
again
her
to
up for
confirm.
sure.
I did.
If you would like
Oh,
to
there we
do
go.
so, you can do that.
There it is.
Could
Yeah.
stab her a bit.
For all intents and purposes, she is unconscious. but stable
I'll
this
leave her.
time.
I'll leave her.
But how do I then?
Alright. So, what are you guys doing
Okay, and
now?
what about hit dice?
Take them off when you short rest and just add them on separate.
Hopefully
Okay.
she's awake and I get to kill her when she throws her one away.
or
Are you saying this in
or
character?
or easier, roll them first and then
I'll
take off how many
distinguish.
you use.
No, out of character.
So,
Let's roll.
so yeah, let's roll. So, you guys heading further into the maze? Is that the
Against
idea?
our better judgment.
People of our party, there is a magical force further in that we should be aware of.
What
I
is
don't know. I just saw it with my detecty magic-y. What school was it? Do we know?
You didn't get a school.
Didn't get a school.
Should we go one at a time?
My detect magic is half working.
It seems to be right on the edge of your sight, so perhaps if you got closer, you might get more.
Is it around this corner?
Is it immediately around the corner or?
No, it's a ways away.
Ways
So it's
away,
the edge of
so-
the edge of your 30-foot
Until we-
vision.
Well, let's start to make our way towards it. Let us know when we're getting close and stop us from getting around the corner for it.
Okay,
And let us know if it moves. Can we make our way through the maze?
of course you can. What's your marching order? Who'd like to go first?
I mean, Brucon surely has to be
I'll go.
in the van.
Wow,
Okay.
you
Oh,
guys
if I'm-
literally are
if
the,
I'm-
are the
if
front
I'm-
line
if
currently.
I'm-
Well, I mean, Brucon is the party tank.
Stand right,
Improbable
right
though it
behind us.
seems.
Yeah.
It'll be 5 foot difference. But
Okay.
Yeah, so me and
But I
Bruce
love
will
it.
be at the front.
Okay. With the two spellcasters.
Literally
behind
right
you.
behind us.
Yep.
No,
Sounds
we'll bring
That's
up
a-
the rear, but he will sort of.
That's a permanent feature, is it?
Mala's carrying the lady.
Oh,
Sorry,
is
you
that
guys can't see
Seth?
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
Seth's
I
got
keep
grey
thinking-
skin now because I found a good piece which I can now
I
use.
keep
which
thinking the one all
was
in
a
black
character
is
from another
Seth.
campaign.
It's all in blue.
Well, like do that thing where he sort of keeps looking behind, just keeping an eye behind the party.
Yeah, just make sure you're not being followed.
rear guard.
Seems good. Seems good.
Yeah, rear guard,
yeah,
exactly.
you could make a perception check for us as you go.
7.
7. Okay, so keeping an eye as best as you can. Doesn't seem to be any disturbances behind you, but carry on.
Well,
Should have just
With the
let
rest of
that
the
be
party.
passive.
well,
Shall
the way you said that reminded
Sorry,
me of that
yeah, I should have let you do
Have
passive.
we reached the
but-
point where you said there's magic?
You know, that
I don't know
name,
yet.
Stephen with a PH.
So you continue onwards as you wind further into the maze. The magic you were detecting, suddenly you now get a second source of magic. The first one still can't picture a school. You're not getting a particular school of magic from it. It makes you uneasy, this presence, and it seems to you kind of what you can see. It seems to be roughly 4 feet high. The outline, because obviously the effect is an outline, is of a humanoidish shape, but no legs. It seems to be sort of one unit, like a statue.
Like a,
Alright,
To
thanks,
meet my
Rex.
X-Men.
there's like a magic dwarf or no?
Is
Charles.
it magnet? Has he come?
The second one you get, that you now get this new one, it appears to be an oblong. It's maybe about 5 feet wide, and it offers abjuration magic from it.
You don't even know what I've seen.
He hasn't told you yet.
Anytime you use detect magic, I'm just going.
Sure, you can have the cursed whatever we're gonna find.
Yeah, I love cursed items. They always fuck me.
We've got a
Oh yes.
This loot is full of spiders.
a 4 foot tall statue of creepy magic. I don't know why. I can't detect it properly. And a rectangle of abjuration.
Specific and vague.
Yep.
Excellent. Let's
That's a
go.
good one, vague. The vague one you're getting seems to be almost directly ahead of you, although you can see that the maze itself winds ahead of you. It appears to be dead ahead. So, unless you have anything else you want to do.
Should we go one at a time? If there's this magic thing,
That sounds like a great way to all of us die in a trap.
I agree.
tie a rope to someone in case they get caught in a trap.
Charles,
and they
I
go,
don't-
help
you
me, I'm in
don't,
a
Charles, you
trap.
don't need to do the
Charles.
what's the name of
You
the?
get lost in
It's
your
not
own
not
game.
Sinestro.
Magneto.
Cerebro.
Cerebro.
You don't need to do the Cerebro gesture.
One day he'll get a helmet and
Yeah.
do it. Like, yeah. Anyway.
Helmet, not a hat.
Charles.
So what are you guys doing? Going
I
ahead?
say, if there's some type of trap, it could be like your soul-sucking painting thing.
Oh, that's
Maybe
quite
we
a good
should-
point, Mr.
Maybe
Sir.
we should tie a rope around someone so if they get their soul stolen, we pull it back.
I don't think that's how souls work, but I think
No,
the
no,
rope
no.
is still nonetheless
We
a
don't
good idea.
pull the soul back.
Oh,
We
I
pull the
was,
person back so that no one has to lose their soul to go get them.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
that's how
think
souls
the
work.
They'll still have no soul.
the Himalayan
We
walking.
can work on that.
Yeah,
We don't know
there's-
it's a soul
You
thing.
know, there's two possibilities here. No soul, also no body, or no soul but with body.
I like option
Of
two.
the two,
Of the option, maybe it's some kind of vacuum, and whoever goes in gets sucked in, and whoever's holding the rope also gets sucked in.
So we should leave our strongest to pull back.
Oh, the eyes are now looking at Malor, I guess.
I pull out some rope.
Oh,
I tie it around myself.
I grab the end of the
I'm
rope
gonna give one into him.
and just wrap it around an arm. Just sort of.
Cool. This seems.
Oh my god, I volunteered myself. What did I do?
Oh, Mr. Sapphire, take the blessings of Festia. Guidance.
Does that help us save?
Nope.
yeah, no.
Resistance.
Ah, right, okay.
Helps with checks though.
Helps with checks, yeah.
Rolls or just checks? Just checks, isn't it?
It's
One ability check
Oh.
before the minute's up.
If
First
I
ability
scream
check.
and start dying, pull me back.
Oh, okay, Mr. Sapphire. Rest assured, I will keep an eye on you as you head up to this magical doom trap, whatever it may be.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Also, your dibs doesn't count. This is not a sneaky way of getting in to your dibs first. The thing you said, canon in game.
That actually wasn't. That wasn't my trailer forward.
I just hope it's a block
It is
of
now.
super glue. He puts his hands on it.
As I
can't
start
move
to
again.
go towards around the corner, can I just put my hand to the medallion that I've got and just go,
Yeah.
please don't let me die, and go around the corner.
Hang on.
Was that you or him?
Yes.
Both. You hear. Oh no, Seth, I have use for you yet.
Go around the
Not
corner,
as encouraging as you might think, mysterious
Go
voice.
around the corner and what happens?
So as you head around the corner, what you see ahead of you is a topiary statue. It seems to be shaped into that of a Medusa. Yes, you can remove that piece of card if you would like.
Whoosha!
And the bits of wood, yes,
That
you can
was
remove
so
those too.
dramatic.
Anyway,
Are we over here?
yes, that's where you've got to.
Oh, do we? Oh,
With
right.
that, where that X is up ahead, yeah.
No,
whole
we'll
zigzag.
be. Yeah.
So yes, you
I'm
guys
assuming that's the statue.
go on ahead. Sorry,
Oh, I-
thank you.
Fucking Medusa.
No,
And
no,
yes, it appears to be shaped into that of a Medusa, and as you see it,
Shite.
its light, its eyes suddenly evoke a greenish light from them. Immediately, you become uneasy. Your vision blurs and then contorts, as if some parts of your sight is stretching to the left, whilst others are stretching to the right, and
Go cross-eyed.
it's similar. It's similar, but think like when you rewind a video
The
cassette.
curse of the
It's like-
Wok Eye.
It's like that. That's kind of the stretch you've got going on here.
Yeah.
And your hair starts to stand on end throughout your entire body. Can you make a charisma saving throw?
If you can't make a
use
charisma-
my
Oh,
inspiration.
apologies. It's a wisdom saving throw. I'm so sorry.
Can you change that back to charisma?
No, unfortunately, that's what's written. I'm so
I'm going to
sorry.
use my inspiration, and I
Yeah.
have nothing on my wisdom saving throws, so it's just straight dice.
And
15 on the dice.
Nice.
15.
Nice.
Exactly what you needed.
Oh!
That was a well taken inspiration there.
You breathe. You push away these fears that were overcoming your heart, and you feel the medallion glowing at your side, almost in approval. There's a warmness to it, and the eyes go back to the magic
Am
Am I
fades.
able to make my way
You can
through?
go to the right, and as you go forward, you see it parts a T-junction with this Medusa in the centre. To the left is a dead end, an opening into a slightly larger area, but a dead end nonetheless. To your right, the maze continues.
Cool. I'm going to yell back. It's like, I'm okay. What you saw was a statue. Was it when I looked at it or when it looked at me?
When you looked at the topiary thing, both.
Yeah.
For as far as you could tell, when you looked at it.
Yeah.
yes.
When I looked at it,
When
it
you made
felt
eye
like
contact.
it was doing something, but I made it through.
I'm
Follow the rope and try closing your eyes.
But that's what you would say if you were under mind control.
Oh no!
Oh!
My
don't-
insight check Seth at the sound of that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I
Yeah,
don't
And
know
in
how
fact-
to prove that.
in fact, if you were Seth, then you would have done something useful, like putting something over the statue to prevent it from influencing the rest of us. I'm
Can I do
deeply
that?
suspicious at this point.
Oh, it's like I'm
Well-
full of that. I'm going to take off my cloak. And
You're
I'm
somewhat dubious at first, but
Oh, you're
it
just,
appears
just
to be
fucking
Seth.
just YOLOing straight into it.
The
I
fact
mean.
that
Insight
these
check.
reasonable
Oh.
precautions had not been taken
As he-
suggests this probably is Seth.
as he yells, it's like
Yeah, it was a
you
double
hadn't
bluff.
Tried, as Brukon yells, you hadn't tried covering? I'm like, oh shit, that's a good idea.
Yeah, no,
I'm
no,
gonna
what
take
I
off
actually
my
said
jacket.
was,
Take off your
actually,
jacket, okay.
Seth would have done something useful to cover it, but it was a double bluff, because no, he wouldn't.
But now I'm going to.
So yeah, if you want
Can I
to.
try and cover it with the cloak?
Yeah, it's just
sorry,
it's
my
just
jacket.
topiary, so yeah, you can just grab it.
I've
throw
covered it
over
with a
topiary
jacket.
statue.
I don't know that much about magic that if jackets are magic preventing, or if closing your eyes count.
Oh.
But try both.
Well, let's-
Mr. Seth, hold on to the rope, and I pull the rope just gently so there's a bit of tension there.
So it's taut.
I would advocate maybe walking backwards, not making eye contact, but follow the rope. It'll lead to Mr. Seth at least.
Cool, well, Brukon moonwalks his way along the road.
Okay, so you moonwalk your way there. When
When
you
he-
get
when he
to
starts to get
when
towards
you
the
get
end.
to about
I'm going to push him to the side.
about 15 feet from the end of the
From the end,
of
so-
this corridor. Yes, the end of the rope even. Yeah. With your back to it, even still, just wherever you look, two green eyes just light up and pierce into your very soul,
Oh,
and
okay.
you feel this sense come over you as well. You need to make a wisdom,
A wisdom
saving
saving
throw.
throw.
Covering it does not work.
No,
It was worth a shot.
it was.
No, definitely.
Covering it and not looking at it.
Yeah, indeed. It's
Two
it's
separate
it's.
things.
It's
This
almost
is a
Yes,
pair of
yes.
eyes that
it's
are
always
determined
like
to look
cheating
at you,
doesn't work.
Yeah.
no matter when.
Oh look, this is the thing the DM definitely wants us to pass.
I'm more
through.
enjoying the fact that theoretically Seth is going to end up naked by the end of this campaign as he keeps on giving
Leaving
up
things.
So,
It's like, okay, I've covered this plant. Cool. Okay, I'll cover this statue. Okay, I'll cover this fleeting.
Time
You can't see
Yeah,
me.
in episode
Exciting
130,
failure.
We need a bandage. You're just there in a loincloth.
If I get a 20 on a natural stealth check, can I just like throw my pants over fleeting and see that he doesn't see us?
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I think
18.
succeeds as
Can't
well.
see the
You're
moon.
good. You're
Can I
good.
throw my back?
You beat
to
you
cover the moon?
channel the way of the balance.
Yeah.
You
Did he win?
Yeah.
you center yourself physically and mentally.
This side, come to me.
Take a deep breath, and your focus comes back. Your focus.
Just go. I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. I've seen more terrifying things than this.
Your yes.
Just on a Tuesday.
how did it go, Brukon? Are you still you?
I'm not noticeably more traumatized than I was before I made my way down here. Odd thing though, it doesn't seem to be dependent on line of sight or anything like that. I was proceeding very much backwards, and our good friend Seth here did indeed do the maneuver with the cloak, and it's still whatever strange unearthly forces at work here did still try to exert its influence on me. Be careful, be prepared,
I feel like because you said good friend
and possibly
Seth, they're now
enlist
more
the
dubious.
aid of the 8.
Zeph,
possibly the 8 of the 8.
Zeph, are you still alive?
We're still here. We're
Okay, good.
to the right. Just come forward when you're ready. Follow the line.
Making sure
Wait,
Brugon
wait,
hadn't been
wait.
possessed and tried to kill you.
We're to the right, currently
So
recreating the poster
Paranoia
from.
have you got here?
Don't know what's down this corridor, except for everyone who's going down is like evil saves from.
Oh.
He's the
After
man who knew too much. He
After
knows there's
today,
something
we'll,
there,
We'll make
but
like a
nothing's.
code word of it's okay.
That's
Come
not-
now.
This is why.
Yeah, we're
this
both-
is why you hide the monster in a horror film, because it's more scary when it's just the imagination. at
Oh
work.
yes.
Follow the
Psychological,
rope.
yes.
Hurry up.
Very
Yeah.
true. Very
Meanwhile,
true.
we're here recreating the poster from classic 90s comedy film Twins, starring
There is
Arnold
a-
Schwarzenegger
there's a-
and Danny DeVito.
There's a very good chance Fleeting now knows we're coming because we're yelling. So hurry up.
Mallard, do you want to go next or shall I?
Oh,
Guidance on
Mr.
people.
Mr. Leogren, after you, I insist.
Or is it-
Okay.
Although it doesn't work on saving throws, does it?
I mean, if you
Why
know
do you
that
have
this
that
is
cantrip
some
exactly?
kind of thing we need protection from, I can bop a resistance on you.
Oh, now that comes out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, now we know what's happening.
Suddenly,
Yeah.
will you be
useful
able to
abilities
make
appear.
it without the rope?
Yeah, I mean, it's a
It doesn't-
corridor and it affects us
Yeah,
even
the rope,
without
is,
the rope.
the rope is doing two things, jack and shit. So.
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
will
worry too
take whatever guidance you may offer to me. Malar, with the rope still wrapped around his arm, is going to move down and.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
And again, the same effect comes over you. Your vision contorts.
Plus the D4. Plus the
Almost a
D4.
darkness envelops your vision to get tunnel vision, and all you can see are these green glowing eyes.
Do it.
Make
Do
a
it.
wisdom saving throw.
If you,
One of those I'm good at.
I say, come on.
I was going to say, the
Come on.
cleric, you've got to be good at this, surely.
Ooh, okay.
That's going to be 14.
14 failed.
So I still have
What,
a rope
even-
wrapped around my arm.
Well, this is
What's your
interesting.
wisdom save?
Plus 6.
His roll was
But I thought you rolled an 8.
no.
I rolled a
It was
6.
a 6
Plus 2.
plus 2. Then
So, with that,
I'm glad
your
we
tunnel
got the
vision,
rope.
your tunnel vision continues, and all you can think, all that crosses your mind at this time is, I need to get out, I need to get away from this, and you are currently frightened.
you got the fear.
And-
Oh, wait, I'm frightened.
Uh-huh.
I get advantage against such effects.
Oh, okay. Well, roll again. Yes, I should have said. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
Done serenity. Woo!
Wait, hang on.
I don't know what.
Let's
that
see
was.
what happens before. Yeah, see, this is. Pride goeth
Oh,
before the fall, my
God.
friend. That is a natural 1.
Despite your normal stoic-like presence, you
Is he going for
are enveloped by fear, and you immediately head to the left. A portal opens in front of you, a bluish glow around
When we
it.
see the portal,
Yes.
we're going to pull in the rope. Brugon, help! Help, Brugon!
Yeah, brace.
Momentarily, Brucon, as you were waiting for your next companion to come across to you, when you pulled your focus back and took that deep breath, suddenly everything became clear, and you remembered what your ultimate goal was and why you'd set off on this adventure. You see,
Kronk! No,
You do see-
seeking enlightenment.
yes,
Seeking enlightenment.
You
That's
see a
Via.
a bottle of sorts before you. Of a, it seems to be more of a
Maker's
vial,
Mark. Yeah.
the famous carafe or
Yeah,
filter
yeah.
of serenity.
I know
That's,
exactly
that's what you visualise
exactly
momentarily
what it
before it disappears. You know this well.
Nice.
And yes, and you snap back into existence and see your Loxodon is heading towards a portal that's opened up on the left,
Brugon, help!
with Seth screaming at you to help.
Yeah. Whoa there, and Wilbur, come to the room.
Oh no.
Brugon's gonna make a dive for his legs and initiate a grapple check
On the rope or on Malar?
on our large elephantine friend.
Okay, grapple check. It's going to be contested. So it's athletics for you, but Brucon, for you, it's either athletics or acrobatics. I'm going to make a leap and say it's probably athletics. That's probably better for you,
But wait,
because you will be wanting to
I
succeed
have
on this check.
abilities. Hang on.
And
Wait,
Seth,
wait,
you're
wait,
grabbing
wait.
the rope, right?
I'm grabbing the rope. I'm like
Yep.
pulling
It's
it.
to escape from.
pulling
Damn it.
Malar back.
Yeah. So for you,
I have the choice:
Yep.
acrobatics or athletics. Do I?
no, it's athletics because you're grabbing.
It's
it.
definitely athletics.
It's definitely athletics. Unfortunately, if you're escaping, you could choose acrobatics.
If I was escaping, I would.
Because you're grabbing
in the
the
pink.
rope, you don't need to make the grapple check. Just athletics. Just to,
That's a
to
solid
pull
roll
him
you've
back.
just pulled out there. You asshole.
Based on
Yeah.
Where was
everyone,
that a minute ago?
based on
Yeah, quite.
everyone yelling,
Right. So
Yes.
definitely
Everyone's
athletics.
gonna-
Yes.
everyone's gonna.
What was your result?
18.
18.
18.
Did anyone beat 18?
As Leo comes around the corner, I'm gonna yell, "Shoot the statue! Shoot the statue!"
The Oberyn, when you come around the corner, you see
Run
this
round
thing.
to
The
town.
eyes light up again. You need to make the wisdom save.
And shoot the statue!
Did you resistance yourself?
I did.
I thought
yeah.
so. Good.
I'm not running into this corridor like
No,
I'm a
but the two
maniac.
people who do resistance pass. What he does, who gets special shit of wisdom.
Yeah, guess who else doesn't pass?
No, no.
Well, at least
Unless this is a charmed effect.
Well, I mean, it's fear.
So
rather
no.
than-
No.
so no.
Leo, shoot the
15.
statue!
15 was my result on the grapple check.
So you are about
So-
to intersect with the rope.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, so Brucon is currently spread eagled on the floor.
So
with
you're holding
both hands wrapped around one of Malar's feet, being dragged towards whatever nonsense is taking place in this general.
Exactly
vicinity.
so, and in fact, Seth, you yourself, you're holding on to the rope and you're getting dragged as well. It seems that the
Can I-
Loxodon is keen to leave.
Cursed
Oh,
giant,
can I-
large size category.
What's this on? Is this like a stone pedestal?
No, it's just straight to the ground.
It's just it's topiary. It's a bush.
Mm.
Damn it. Is there anything that's
Just
like...
hack it up, man.
No, is there anything... Oh, yeah. But is there anything that
Oh,
like,
yeah, I
is
could do that, couldn't
strong?
I?
I basically want to tie the rope around something.
Oh, I see.
That's
those
what I was
two.
looking for.
Yeah, well, out of all of the items in this area, that is the girthiest sort of trunk.
Can
so
I
yeah, that would be the
basically-
thing. Or yourself,
Can I...
Phrasing.
No, he's struggling me. Can I basically try
or
and
Brucon.
do a lap around the... Can I basically try and throw the rope around
Sturdy
the
gentleman.
bush at the bottom,
Yeah.
at its base,
Okay.
to try and...
Yeah, make a sleight of
Not so-
hand check, and let's see how we do with this.
And then after that, I want to stab the bush.
Okay.
I want to chop. Sleight of hand.
Yeah. Tie it up.
Rolled an 11, so that's 19.
19, lovely. You do a harking back to your days on the sea.
So-
You do a
Half
great
hitch.
sailor's
I've
knot,
tried to tie it so it's
because you know
already
you're not.
Bowling.
taut. So I'm
You don't.
because it's 50 foot of rope, I'm not tying at the very end so that Mela has 40 feet to go through the
Yeah,
portal.
yeah.
I am trying to tie it so it's taut.
Yeah. So to stop him getting
immediately.
through. Sure,
And
sure,
then
sure.
after that, I'm basically going to try and just hack the
Hack
bush.
the bush. All right. Okay. So before you make the attack roll against the bush, Malar, you will now need to make another athletics check. This is going to be opposed the topiary and the rope.
Well, that's 7.
Altogether 7.
Yep.
All right. So that does it. That does it. I'll tell you what. If it was stronger than the armor class for the wood, you would have broken it and just continued on. But as it is, you are currently withheld by the rope.
Oh, wait, that
The
would've-
Oberyn,
that
however,
would've been
is
good for
not,
us. You
so
would've broken
he
it.
overtakes you on his
Okay.
way through.
As he goes past Brucon, who is still, I'm committed to this idea of Brucon. Just say like, no, come back.
And you go, no! You're going to like
Kick
try
him
and
in the
reach for
I'm
his
gonna,
leg.
I'm gonna try and sweep the leg.
Okay, oh, you
as
can
he
try and
goes
trip
by. I'm
him.
gonna do a little Benihana style handspring head spin,
All right.
and try and sweep the legs out from under him as I do it. That's the one. Yeah.
Make a
Stunts, baby.
make an acrobatics.
I love that in our minds, this is cool. In the game, we're like, just tie around and we're just like,
What are you
flailing.
doing?
Yeah, it's almost
Flailing.
like
This is
all this
deeply
effort,
unnecessary.
Just walking by.
Balal's just walking
Yeah.
past, we're dog piling, we're grappling.
This is a lovely.
He's also carrying a captive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
dear.
just got like 3 people trying to just...
Is it a contested check of some kind for?
Against. Oh, that's a good point. What's so it's acrobatics check, and this will be versus your acrobatics or athletics. Up to you.
Same as.
Oh no.
You win. I've got a 3.
Well, I
With a
got
natural
19,
one, yeah,
so,
no,
yeah.
but yeah, with a 3 versus
Sweep
19,
the leg.
you sweep his legs from under him, and Leobrin goes down. He's immediately going to try and get up, unless you're going to try and do something while he's on the ground.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try and restrain him.
Okay, grapple him. So make a grapple check. So this time you'll have advantage because he's prone.
Safe.
I'll say that
Oh,
when you
God.
handspring up, you're back on your feet.
Yeah.
So
Athletics again, yes.
athletics and athletics versus
Whoa.
athletics for you.
Stalled that like an absolute boss. 22.
I can't get that high.
All right.
I won't bother.
Actually, no way. 22.
Yeah.
It's fine. I didn't get high enough. I could get that high with a
Natural 20?
Yeah.
All right. So.
Brucon sweeps the leg and then gets Leobrin in the full Nelson. Submit. The crippler crossface.
Excellent.
Oh no.
Hacking the
Bad
face.
precedent.
So.
Different wrestling move. Not one associated with horrible, horrible tragedy.
Yeah.
Some other wrestling move. But anyway.
God.
A full Nelson. A full Nelson.
Well,
We'll go with
thanks
that.
for clarifying that.
leaving the maze.
Okay, so while this is happening, Seth, yes, you can attack the bush. Roll. Yeah.
26.
26.
Grow up.
Yeah, you hack at it. Bits of branch go everywhere. Bits of topiary flying across the place. Leaves and all sorts of debris. It's still there. Obviously, the stump's there because you didn't want to cut that because otherwise Mallow would be free.
If I'd got a natural 20, I would have asked if I could shape it into something new.
Well, as with the 26, no, still, you can still shape it a bit. What were you thinking? I'll tell you how well you do it here. But what would you like to shape
No,
it
look
into?
like a hat.
Like a tricorn hat on the top of it. Yeah.
Surely the response is a headless Medusa.
It just looks like
You
it looks
reshape
like a
the
Medusa
snakes
statue.
into.
The head is now just a hat.
Well, it looks lovely, and it's very similar, very indicative of your original tricorn hat, or obviously aside from the colour.
Oh, now bad memories.
And it does remind you in this moment, you're like, yeah, I really need to get my hat back, or a hat.
Yeah. Have they stopped trying to escape?
They're still, unfortunately, it's still
Yeah,
going,
no.
it's still
Oh,
persistent.
God.
But
Snap
you've
out
got,
of it,
but
Leo.
it seems for now you've got them both sort of within your grasp. But
Two non-magic
Oh, so we're
guys.
scared. So we're.
yours, yeah, you're trying to escape, both of you. You two, can you make Arcana checks for me? But that's Seth and Bruton, who aren't under the influence.
I rolled a 10 and my Arcana is not very good.
9.
11.
Alcoholic and a pirate.
Yeah.
All right, so with 11,
The
Because
guy
This is
who.
not an alcoholic pirate.
Yeah, the guy who essentially conducted a dark arcane sacrificial ritual for kicks.
with an 11,
Turns out not
Which
to
one
be.
is that?
With the dagger with
Which
Nereus.
one of us? Because you started it.
I'm
I
talking
finished
about
it.
Bruton. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good point.
Go team!
Yeah.
Go to you.
Go team
Yeah.
darkness!
Super, yeah.
So Brucon, you're a bit distracted by wrestling quite literally with
Yeah.
the Oberyn on
Yeah.
the ground currently. But for Seth, you have a moment after you've reshaped, after
Look,
you've
I'm
done
busy
a
looking
little
for a
bit
Spanish
of
announcer's
garden,
table to
landscape
throw this
gardening.
guy through.
Your artistry.
Do you know what? I'm making
you
all
think-
these wrestling jokes, but Drake isn't even watching this week.
It's
Yeah.
wasted.
Genius is wasted.
It's okay. He'll see it on YouTube. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
We're good.
Bye, Dre.
Tell him to skip through the start.
I just made I just made a Spanish announcer's table joke, right? This is the prime niche cuts. I want some proper
I want some real
appreciation.
estate in
I
laughs.
want some serious appreciation.
So yes, you have a moment, and the only thing you can glean from attacking this bush is that it seems the effect itself is incorporeal. It doesn't seem that it's connected to the bush itself, and you feel your medallion in your pocket tremble, and you just hear again that familiar, if slightly patronising laugh. Oh, you've got to love those area effects, Seth. Just see if you can move your friends out of its immediate area. Good luck.
Good fucking luck.
So I'm good. I'm not going to respond to it because I'm holding the rope that's attached to thing. It's like, get them away from the statue that's not the portal.
I mean, okay.
Leo
What's,
can't sleep.
Leo, how much does Leo weigh?
Why do I not have chloroform?
Not the heaviest humanoid.
155 plus
Why do you not have a
90 for weight carried. So yeah,
Roughly just under
240.
250.
Yeah, 245
Alchemist
pounds.
herbalist
I mean, that's-
supplies.
That's pretty hefty.
Well, it's 155 body weight and then 90 pounds.
I see what you mean. Sorry, right, okay. I can't remember what exactly Brucon clocks in at, but it's something. It's definitely more than that, surely.
D&D characters
Yeah.
carry a lot.
It's got to be.
I
Yeah.
don't-
What was it you were
I
trying
don't-
to do?
Well, I'm just trying. No. Well, what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, he weighs a bit more. I'm just trying to figure out to what extent it's viable for Brucon to just start dragging this dude.
Yeah, you can certainly try.
Assume I wrestle him sort of territory.
We've got a mammoth here. We're not going to be able to stop him.
So basically, what I'd say is for
I know. I wasn't talking about him. I'm talking about him.
I
drag-
can drag me, so you should be able to drag me.
yeah, if you can. So to drag the Oberyn, you can do it. It's fine. It's just half your movement, so you'll be a bit
Yeah.
slower. But in order to basically, I'll make one more grapple check to see if he escapes your grapple.
Sure.
So you don't have advantage this time.
Hang on a sec.
But athletics for you, athletics for you. Seth, go.
With the statue destroyed, is the portal still there?
Still there, yeah.
Fudge.
It seems the magic is persisting despite the whatever you do to this topiary, which some of it is still there because the stump is still there. You've got it tied round quite
Yeah.
well. You haven't completely got rid of it, but it seems that the effect
Will persist.
will
but
persist despite that.
I was
Yes.
hoping that if the thing was there, we could just get rid of the portal. That's the thing.
Right.
We don't want them at the exit.
Mm.
So, athletics again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a natural 1.
Which is altogether
5.
5.
Which matches my 5.
Oh, okay. So you were already
So-
grappled, so
yeah.
we'll say it
So
persists.
status
yeah,
quo.
it's a struggle, but despite your natural 1, you managed to keep a hold of him and pull him along away from the area towards Seth.
Before,
Can I help
Brucon
him?
would have been like the kind of head, chin sort of level with Leo's scalp.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, like he's got him in a leg lock under the arms. It's kind of like whoa, because he just like there was a brief moment where Leobrin managed to sort of exploit an opening, and then Brucon's like whoa, steady on there, and gets him in the sort of.
to get away.
Can I help?
Sorry, Seth, yeah.
Can I help Brucon to help? Sorry, can I help
To
Brucon
get the Oberon out.
him
Yeah.
away?
Yep.
But not the portal away.
So further down the right-hand passageway, yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can drag them. You can see that there is an opening to your right, further ahead.
Can we keep pulling?
Yeah.
When I get to there,
Yep.
I'd look in.
What's going on here?
I would assume it's another passage. I don't know where.
Yes,
we are.
exactly. That's what you would assume. Yeah. What you see,
Still carrying.
you see, it opens up into a larger area in the maze. This isn't like the kind of going down the Death Star run like you were before. This is now seems to be an open, almost forum-esque kind of
As I
area.
start to see it opens up, can I put a hand over Leo's mouth and just say to her, "Shh, I think we're near the middle."
And actually, as you do this, and you continue to drag Lee Oberon, by about this point, the effect wears off.
I slap
And
my
you,
hand
he
over
see,
his
and
mouth.
you put the hand over, and he just seems to be back to his normal self. He stops shrieking immediately and drops back to his normal self.
Yeah.
You're no longer frightened.
No, put my hand
Yes.
over. Are you okay?
Yes.
Good. I can't hear you from the mouth. Takes hand over. Like, are you afraid?
Of you or of the situation we're in?
In general, right now.
No, I'm fine.
Everyone, dogpile Malar, get him here!
Okay, Brucon releases and
We release. We charge
Am
to
I
Malar.
trying to break out of this current rope tree situation?
Yes.
The two fastest
make
people.
You can make
Double
that seems
everything
fair.
to
Yeah,
get
make
down
one
there.
more attempt.
That's going to be 14.
Me and Brucon are doubling
14
down.
is
We are
enough.
We are dashing with bonus actions. Shit.
Yeah.
however Brucon is faster,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
so makes
Yes.
it.
So as you guys turn around to start heading out, you can see
I'm
the
94 in
rope
a second. 6
pull
seconds.
yanks and goes. It suddenly is no longer taut. It drops to the ground,
Yep.
and you can see he's starting to head his way.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, you
We're
beeline
running.
back to him.
Yeah,
You'll get there because you
Tackle
guys
him.
are quick, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Leobrin, are you going as well,
yeah.
or are you staying where
Rugby
you
tackle.
are?
Honestly, if everyone's running to grab Mala, I'm gonna join in.
You need to make another
Yeah,
wisdom saving
no.
throw when you run.
I'm not gonna
I
put
was like,
resistance
you
on
don't
it
have to-
because
Oh, fuck the bush.
no, this is logic, not
Yeah.
tactics.
It's puzzles.
Yeah.
Gotta love puzzles.
No.
Fail again.
Start running, and so the two of you. Okay, so we'll get back to you. You
Head to
two
it.
run to try and grab Malar.
Yeah, rugby tackle on Malar.
So I would say that as you're both doing this together, you can make grapple checks, so athletics checks for both of you. You get advantage because you're both going at him.
Right.
And it's athletics or acrobatics for you, Mal, to try and escape this time.
16.
14.
16, 14.
17.
Oh, fudge off!
Oh my god!
Fuck it, do you know what? Die.
Let-
I
let-
don't care
let it go.
anymore. Just
Brucon,
die.
we're taking down a
Whatever.
werewolf.
You take one
You
arm.
clearly don't want this enough.
You take one arm each, but despite
Yeah.
this, Malal just continues dragging you to a lower, and you are still frightened.
Um,
Just like,
hang on,
Has he gotten to the
Hold
portal?
up. Describe Malar's clothing.
It is sort of a simple sort of long sleeve like cheesecloth sort of open fronted black shirt with a sort of a traveller's think like a fishing sort of vest with pockets all over it and sort of 3/4 length sort of trousers. He's a big guy.
Yeah, no like tabard or anything going on.
No.
Doing it. All right.
So you two try and grab him, and
Fail.
you holding on to him, but he's just carrying on dragging you two regardless. And you also then see at this point,
This
Leobrin.
frightened-
Yes.
Frightened.
Mhm.
So what am I frightened of?
You are frightened and compelled, so you feel compelled to head towards that portal to escape the maze by the quickest route.
I feel like I was going to say I feel like that's a charm. But
Wait, hang on.
Okay,
Hang
okay. No. That's,
Advantage on
oh,
saves.
you've got advantage on set, but he hasn't re-rolled
I
yet.
haven't left the area.
Yeah,
We
that's
haven't
true.
got
He hasn't left
freedom
the
of-
Oh
area.
no, he's not the
Against
one. No,
you
it's,
guys.
yeah. Damn it.
but fine. I guess I keep moving.
Has Malar got to the portal?
Fear and greed. So you basically you're holding on to Malar, and then you see Leobrin. You start running, and then just suddenly you're like, "I know, I'm going for the portal," and you just keep running past those two. So Leobrin's now in front. He's nearest the portal. You two have one more attempt
Who we?
on Leobrin for sure.
Brucon, you stay with Malar. I'm going to tackle Leo.
Fine.
I tackle Leo.
Okay, contested. If you have inspiration.
I used it
Oh.
for my save.
I
Oh,
should've used
17.
That's is that cocked? That's cocked. I'm gonna have to roll. Sorry.
Did you just roll better?
I mean, the cocked one was mostly on beating you, and now it's definitely beating you. So it was definitely cocked, but beating you, and now it's definitely beating you.
You go to try and rugby tackle into Leobrin, but he managed to, in his showing his elven ways, nimbly dodges out of the way and jumps into the portal.
Cool.
Okay, so Malar is still persisting. It's one more grapple check between Brucon and Malar, and Seth. You can turn around and block his way. If you
Yeah, suck it.
Can I just roll in front of him and try and trip him up?
Okay.
16 to his not that.
I got 8.
8. Okay, so you pull him back this time. So
14. So
14. So yeah, you
I-
roll
I
there and
flop
you're
in front.
you flop in front ready, and then
Yeah.
he just stops. Oh no! But I think Brucon's got this. Leobrin.
Hurricane Rana, leap up, legs, flip, all kinds of nonsense going down.
Leobrin, you reappear at the edge of the maze, and you,
From what I remember, with the compulsion that the maze is not interesting to go into.
you don't want to go back there. You refuse to go back in there. That you want to avoid the maze currently. You can.
Have
You-
fun with
I
the
would
rest of the game, guys.
you kind of are fighting against yourself, and so that kind of renders you immobile because you want to go back in for your friends, but equally you don't want to go back in there, and you're just rooted to the spot currently at the entrance to the maze. However, your familiars, you can still cast spells, you can still do stuff from where you are. You just can't go back in. So you could, like for instance, skew your flock of familiars and keep eyes out, but then you'd have to be
Flock of
shouting
seagulls.
to try and communicate what's going on. But yeah, you can still do stuff from distance if that helps. For instance, the maze itself is not the largest things. For instance, so if you have anything,
Scale.
that area that's not the whole maze, but roughly speaking, from the edge of the maze, from the entrance to the center, is maybe about 100 feet. So if you had eyes on the center of the maze and you had area of effects or things like that you can point, you can go to a point that's not within your necessarily like
Spells
straight
don't
line
work
to.
like that.
If you not get anything, you can like drop on like Toll the Dead or things like that,
You need to.
because you
you
can
need to
use your
have-
familiar for eyes.
Yeah, but you need to have line of sight. Like spellcasting needs like a direct line.
Mhm. To the to the spot, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just get some elevation.
Has Malar gotten through the portal, or have we stopped
No,
him?
no, you've stopped him.
Can we, Brucon, drag him back?
Yeah, that
sorry,
went
Leobrin.
super great last time. Sure, let's give that a go. Is that another?
Could you roll shit?
I mean, sporadically yes for this apparently.
So this is
Are we warrior on just
more
one dice?
athletics.
The both of us are
Same again. So,
dragging him.
so you're dragging him. So yeah, just one more athletics check.
8.
11.
11, and you got
14.
14. So you're still holding on to him. You just can't pull him along. He won't move from where he currently is.
Shut up! Come on!
I mean, the worst two people to pass this check
Yeah.
Yeah.
are currently
Yeah.
in the driving
Are we
seat.
basically just? Do we just keep contesting until he gets to the portal, or we get him back? Do we just keep rolling?
Yeah. You do one more
Well,
now. So this is essentially
Brucon-
it's like the scales have tipped. They were tipping your way. They've now gone back into the centre.
Yeah,
He's
so
one
do
more.
we just-
So one more now to see if he breaks away or whether you can pull him back.
But hang on, but Brucon moves in the general direction of his substantial ears and says, "Oh, come on, priestly man, this is completely your wheelhouse. For God's sake, what would the age say?
Says fight.
What would Keith or whoever think about this? Come on,
Think of Steve.
come on, reach inside yourself and find your faith, man. For the love of crying."
I would say that you can make a religion check.
Cool.
And we'll
That's
see if
a
it-
thing
see if we
I'm
can- see if we
super
can-
great at.
See if we can penetrate through Malar's fear.
Shush.
The rogue and the monk are making arcana religion
Yep.
checks.
Oh, that's a 9. Religion.
Sorry.
Real, not my.
Can I-
Not,
Unfortunately, he's
Can I
not
stop
listening.
I don't know. Just give me
Does
something
it
that's got a plus.
Okay,
Does it not even give him the
we'll
chance
put
to make another-
Okay, well, let me give you one thing that could help. I mean, you've tried just pulling him as is, but it worked quite well with the Oberon when you got him down on the ground because you then had an advantage to drag him.
yeah.
So if you can,
Just
so tripping over Malar might be a good idea.
Fine. Okay. Well, Bruco.
Equally,
I
you
mean,
could
there's-
just equally you could let him leave.
There is a length of rope attached to his arm.
No,
I
you
did like-
no,
broke. You broke.
you
no,
broke-
Or did I just wrench the stuff
Yeah,
out
he
the
broke
ground?
the topiary.
Yeah.
The rope is fine. He's managed
Yeah.
to loop it off essentially. It's still knotted.
Topiary bush is gone. That's been broken
Okay.
off.
Well, in that case, Brucon will go and grab. We'll grab a tray. Well, no, actually, it ought to be Seth. Brucon will nudge Seth and go. The rope, wrap round his legs. Wrap it round him.
Yeah, I'm going to start to tie him up. Just
Okay.
going to wrap the
You're
rope
going
around
to
his
attack
legs.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sleight of hand
Truss him
check.
up. Truss him up like a turkey.
18.
18. Yeah. That you do another equally good knot as last time.
And
And yeah, it's
legs are
around his
tied up.
legs. So yeah, if he tries to move forward, he's going to struggle a little bit here. So as you are going to try and continue to get out, this time it's an acrobatics check. 'Cause you're trying to stumble through despite your obvious impairments. Impediments.
That's extremely cocked.
That's just 8.
8. Yeah.
Like a mighty sequoia.
Down to the ground. Meanwhile, outside the maze, you hear a crash to the ground.
Yeah.
And it snaps you for a second. Now you're outside the maze. You
Yeah,
no longer
I was-
have the
I was
fear
gonna
over
start
you.
like experimenting. Like if I take a
Yeah.
step away, can I take that step back forward,
You try doing that, and
or does it keep me that extra step?
so you
away?
take a step away. Try to take a step back. Now you make this is going to be a wisdom save, but it's for the charm effect because the fear is no longer on you. You're out of the maze, but now it's the compulsion you're trying to get rid of. So you have advantage because of your Fey ancestry against this charm effect.
I was going to be dropping resistance on myself if possible.
You can still cast spells, so yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't know if this was happening before I was casting. Why am I cocked? That one's not good. Let's see what the cocked one does. Bless. Wait, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Nope. 13.
13. You're still. So you try to move back and you just can't. You're rooted to the spot, unable to take any further action towards the maze at this time.
Cool.
Sorry. Move back to you guys.
For Malar, he's on the
He's
ground.
down
now.
on the ground.
Can we drag him back?
Yes.
Right, so, like, the woman has come off and she is now there, and
Yeah.
Malor is on the floor, probably trying to just haul himself towards the
But
portal.
if she gets up, we'll kill her. But
Yeah.
we're focusing on you right now.
Yeah, I think she's also tied up from
Yeah,
last time
she
as well,
is.
so that will help.
Still kill her.
Okay, so so you two, so you get advantage now on the check to drag him. It's athletics for
17.
you, Mallow.
21.
21.
6.
Yay! And so with some effort, you managed to drag Mallow to the spot where you've got Leo.
Oh, thank
Over
God.
the shoulders, just.
Are you going to go back for the other
Sure.
one, the woman?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Alright.
So we drag him there, secure him, and then Brucon will go back.
When
and-
he starts to look like he's coming out of it, a quick slap on the face. Are you okay? Are you frightened?
a full airplane with just the stack of people behind with the club, baseball out.
Calm
with a
down,
nail
get
in
a
the
hold
air.
of yourself.
Arguably rightly so after what's just
Yeah,
transpired.
I think you've
Yeah.
earned it. Yeah.
Stop fighting us!
Possibly even the gun, although we'll start with pistol whipping.
Mr. Seth, stop this now.
I'll stop when he starts getting
I
fussy.
was pistol whipping cops for hip
Slap
hop.
you away.
Oh, does he just recover?
Yes, he does. As soon as she gets to the same spot, he snaps out of it.
So have I been cognizant of what happened? Like,
You're
yeah,
aware
so
of what's
I'm-
happened, yes.
Do not go back that way.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like this party anymore, Mr. Seth. We should be not here.
Yes, let's go. Beat fleeting up and go.
Where's Mr. Leo? I can probably signal Mr. Leo.
Can you?
Well, yeah, of course.
Are you just going
and
to
I
yell?
just thermocharge.
I saw that coming.
You definitely hear a trumpeting sound
Do you give
from
a
its.
word?
Don't tell anyone, but we're still in here!
Are you telling him we're okay?
No, that was just me signaling where we are. I can do that. Mr. Leobrin, we're quite all right. Are you well?
So, at the edge of the maze, yes, you hear a trumpeting noise followed by Malar's booming voice saying exactly that. And before you can respond, you also hear a third sound also coming from the centre of the maze. You hear the howl of a wolf.
How close is that for us?
It's very close to the three of you.
Thanks for
are.
reminding us what the hell of a wolf sounds like. I wasn't sure.
I wanted to get involved. He got a trumpet.
If Jack doesn't get to do his voices for very long, we're on
Got
the
to
job.
milk it for all it's worth. So, you hear all that. What do you want to do, Liam? And what can you do? What any thoughts?
Good. This is fun. Still can't access the maze. So, how dense is the plant, like the maze material?
So it's just standard hedgerows. Looks to be about 5 feet wide. In places, it's going to be thicker than that, but for the most part, roughly 3 to 5 feet wide.
I have a way of. I've got plans.
Burn it down.
So, step one, I'm like, I can't get in for some reason. I will assist as possible. Step one, flock of familiars.
Yep.
Sending them up and over the maze. And
Can you project?
Oh,
Can
we
you?
just
Can
need
you
to
do
get
they
like
function
power
like
or
familiars
something.
in the casting spells?
So I could theoretically do touch spells through them.
Right.
But I need touch spells. I have one.
Yeah.
But if you guys want resistance,
Might be useful for certain things.
yeah. But more importantly, this is going to give me eyes on
Yeah.
the field.
Well, if we're about to go toe to toe with a werewolf,
As are shit.
Can
they're
you?
werewolf.
Are they owls?
Yeah.
Can
But
they
if we're- hang on,
help
but-
us with, like, help and
Yes.
such?
Yeah.
That's.
but
literally what I'm
if
saying.
we're about to tangle with a werewolf, then resistance against Constitution saving throws might be quite useful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Until the bit where it was werewolf, I had a second part of this plan, but the second part won't come into effect because werewolves are immune to normal damage.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh God!
Oh, what? Just dropping stuff with the
No,
familiar?
I was gonna do.
And also, this werewolf is fleeting, so he has horns and maybe a hellish demeanour.
What I was gonna do,
Brucon's gonna be
was I was gonna
so
send rats in.
useless. All right.
Oh shit!
but rats only do normal damage.
Can we, Brucon, rather than
Unless
bringing that to
they're-
us,
I
wait.
do have a silvered short sword, so it's
incorrect.
not completely
Yes,
useless.
because they are magically formed swarm of rats. So yeah,
I'm gonna give my.
damage.
they essentially count like a magic
So
weapon.
I'm gonna allow. I'm
Hang on.
gonna accept
So-
that fudging of the
Hang on.
rules.
So you're going to summon a flock of owls,
Yeah.
And
which are then
I
going
love
to
it, I love it.
dispense magic rats.
No.
Is this like they're going to be flying in with the rats clutched in their talons and then deploy?
why-
It's like a
that's why I
World War
wanted-
II is the Dam Busters.
That's why I
but
wanted
with-
to know how dense the hedge was, because the rats can go in underneath.
Oh, I see. Right.
You are Ace Ventura.
can we,
Yeah,
rather than taking the unconscious person with us,
yeah,
should we throw her through the portal?
sure,
'Cause
yeah.
We're going to be fighting.
Well,
someone.
but we don't know. Do we know what? Do we know? Oh no, we do know
Yeah,
because you've already. Yeah.
Specifically,
So,
where is it?
because if we're going to
Cool,
fight, she
okay.
could disappear.
Okay, Brucon writes a little
Is-
note and just go,
That druid
dear
subclass
Leoporin.
says that they have an ability that makes them magic, so I'd assume
Ah.
default they don't.
what's that? Sorry.
That is a special ability
Yeah.
for one
Which
druid
Beasts and
subclass.
Fae that you conjure are more resilient than normal.
Yes,
but
the damage from weapons is considered magical.
yeah, but this because it's not the spell; it's an item. It's a magical staff that they're
Oh,
coming
okay.
from. It's like it's different.
Cool.
So,
I will.
yeah, it is
I will
magical,
accept
yes.
that.
Yep, that
And we
definitely.
have it on camera now as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
No, I think that makes sense, right?
That'll hold up in a court of law.
Magical,
Yeah.
magical rats from a magical staff.
Brucon pulls out a scrap of paper and scrawls on it. Dear Leoberin, hope you are okay and weather is good. Please supervise this unconscious person for duration of werewolf rescue attempt. love Brucon, and then
I thought you were
post
gonna
it
put
in the.
from. I was ready to go. Love.
No, Brucon was raised right. He knows how to write a letter. And
It's true. He's from bureaucracy.
yeah, and then tucks it in a prominent location in the collar, say, and then punts the undead body through the portal. So just
No notice. Leo's standing there. A portal
really
appears
getting
and
into
a
the
corpse
roleplay.
just seems to fly on his face.
And with that, a darkly robed elven female appears next to you outside the maze,
following
and
the
you
old-
recognise it immediately as the unconscious.
following the portal
assassin.
principle of speedy thing go in, speedy
Okay.
thing come out.
Are we
How
ready?
are we on having breaks?
I was about to do one, but then have one
no,
last
then carry,
thing
you, well, then you
first.
carry on. You carry on.
We will be having one. Yes, don't you worry. So, sorry, you were saying.
No,
No,
good.
you're good. Okay. All right. So the rest of you, hearing this howl, you
Look for its castle.
you look through the gap in the hedgerow, and you can see in front of you. This appears very much to be the centre of the maze. There are stone benches, like Leobrin described, sort of out around the edges of this. In the centre, just on the edge of your sight through this archway, is a statue. It appears to depict a dwarven female holding a book. You don't get anything more from it from here, but you obviously heard the howl, and it seems to have come definitely from inside this area. You cannot see yet anything there, any werewolves. You going inside?
We can't stealth really. We've been loud as fuck.
Oh, well, don't look at me and say that, Mr. Seth.
No, I mean before that as well. We've been screaming. I was the first one to yell back. Charge in. See what happens.
I don't have a better plan, to be blunt.
Okay,
Can
but
I see anything that I can hide behind?
The benches don't look like something you could hide behind. They have no backs to them, so literally the only thing you can hide behind is the hedgerow that you're currently
Cool.
with, or the
Okay.
statue. The statue is quite tall. It's roughly 8 feet tall. So if it looks wide enough that you could perhaps duck behind it if you needed to, but that's dependent on where the thing you're hiding from is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Should we just literally go in?
yeah, YOLO.
Silver rapier drawn. Silver short sword.
Silver cookery short sword to hand.
Mm-hmm.
Shield up and magic at the ready.
You steel yourselves and move forward into the centre, and immediately as you go through the archway, you see standing beyond the
outside.
statue,
Campaign finishes.
glaring at you from the ground up. You see the clothing of fleeting, the chainmail armour, the brown robes, cloak, the hood, but the hood itself has been pulled back. You see the horns, but this figure you see before you wielding this same magical hammer is not the fleeting you knew. This is a
Did you say-
werewolf.
It's a different.
Did
It
you
is
say
a
wielding?
It is a fleeting wolf
Wielding
you see
magical
before
hammer.
you. Sorry,
Is it wielding?
it's wielding the hammer, yeah.
So it's in.
And with that,
hybrid mode.
we're gonna take a little break. We'll be back shortly for this
Be back soon. Hurry up now.
This
Be back soon.
epilogue. I was gonna say epic encounter, and I thought
Yeah.
that's blowing my own trumpet too much.
Epitaph.
This encounter,
Yeah.
interesting encounter. We'll be back very shortly. back. So, guys, as you enter the centre of the maze, you see Fleeting Wolf before you. Can you all make initiative checks for me, please? Including you, Leobrin, of course, because you're involved.
The annoying.
You can see.
I mean, are we going to tone down the technical
About the familiars?
familiars? Would have the actually
Yeah,
no.
maybe.
All the familiars will be on the same.
Double
side.
figures! Like literally,
Yes, please.
that's the level of
That'll
excitement
be the
I'm at.
familiars, and then the rats will be on their own initiative. Because I'm not there.
Yeah, I mean, you need to summon them first, so that'll be your first action.
Oh, so
But yes,
have
roll
to
for
summon
initiative
again.
when they're here.
Okay.
And roll for yourself, yes.
Okay. Cool.
Leobrin has a plan involving all of the woodland creatures.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
I love it.
To me,
Which is
wow.
really fitting for like
Get out a big funnel
Yeah.
and just pour them into his gullet until he's so just bloated with small mammals that he cannot move, and then we just cart him out.
Did you or anyone here ever play Starship Titanic? Starling,
Yes.
you're right.
Yeah.
So very fitting, I think, for Leobrin, given his background, being from the Randlands and being the kind of warlock you are as a
Yeah.
Fey warlock's great. So this will
Animals
work.
and plants.
Anyway, with initiative, anyone get 20 or above?
Yeah!
So, Brucon, what'd you get?
22.
22. What did you get? No! Oh!
I love it now!
Number 1.
Do you want to read me?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, 2 for me.
I shall cherish it forever. Until I have to give it back in, however long.
20 to 15.
19
Oh.
for Leobrin.
19 for
What have you done with Seth?
What are these guys get?
Anyone else? 2015? No? Anyone? No?
Let me just check the owls. The
did
owls
you
are
roll?
on
I
40.
fall.
OMG.
So,
12.
15 to 10.
The owls are on 14.
That's it, right?
I was like, I'm going to go before.
Oh, this is great. I can direct my owls and then they do the thing.
And that leaves Malar on.
Oh,
What did you roll?
This is so useful being later in this
6,
season
oh,
after
yeah.
the owls who
Yeah.
use the help.
Yeah. That's what they're here for.
Smart. Seeing before you see, well,
Fleeting wolf. Over there.
Well,
I don't have any wolf heads.
is he
Quickie
bigger
wolf.
than usual, or still medium? Or?
He's still a medium creature.
Sure,
I'm
Nalal's
not
probably not in
seven
front.
now,
I've
the
just
rats
pushed
are
us
gonna
forward.
be- I rolled the rats and they're on like 5.
Yeah, no problem. That's fine.
We're gonna fuck one quick.
I just want to say I rolled a natural 20 just to highlight the devil dice thing.
We're ready.
Definitely happened. We're ready. So top of the round, Brucon.
Yeah.
Seen this fearsome sight.
It's with an elaborate hat. Is that representing actual?
That is an owl. That's
That's
a
on my
conjured
head.
owl that's flown. It's maybe not on your
It's
head.
flying by you.
It's fine.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
They're
So
not
you'll
on
move,
us.
you'll
Attack
move out of
pattern
its
alpha.
space.
They're just like above us, like 5 foot above.
All right.
15.
Yeah, 15.
12 and a half feet, actually.
Out of range of werewolf for right now.
Yeah. Brooklyn goes, okay, Merlin, let's do this. And
He's got a flyby, it's great. Best bit about this is I can't be hit because I'm outside the maze.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is actually
Unless there's another assassin out here.
There's no one, unless there's another one. You never know.
Until 3 owls just vanish in one go and everyone inside the maze going,
Worse,
Yeah,
a
bro.
monk with darts.
"Yeah, bro?"
Brucon clicks his heels
Yes.
as a bonus action to activate the boot of
yes, speed.
rapidity.
Okay.
I mean,
Yep.
Yes.
the goal
And
is
then-
to help each
There's
other.
no place like
So that takes him to 80 feet around.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 25. So that's 55 feet of movement left.
Yep.
Goes all slicker snack with his silver short sword.
Hits it and then takes a wheel into the portal. Because he
So
can make it.
Bye.
yeah, right, yeah. So we'll have that roll. Oh no, that's 10 to hit.
10 unfortunately misses.
Okay.
Connects, but it's not getting through the armor.
I've just realised something as well. I didn't do this quite right. Never mind. and then he'll move around.
Okay.
To there.
Pivot behind him.
Yeah. Apologies to everyone
Knocking
who
the
I
camera all the
apologies
way.
to everyone I just gave motion sickness to, and that's Brooklyn's turn.
It's the fear effect which didn't quite take hold there. Fleeting. Alright, well, he's going to turn around and face his adversary. This wolf snarling, growling towards you, takes forth a magic hammer and swings it at you.
Offers you some escort.
Yeah, as he's really pissed off after
Happily,
Nesquik.
suddenly his baffling stat line
Okay,
becomes
I
more beneficial.
I swear to God, if you roll well for fleeting
He's going
and
to.
actually are around,
Oh, he's
you
going
just
to.
hit.
It's going to happen.
We don't well.
That was a treble crit.
Ah,
Yeah.
That's just how it's going to go.
that's how it works. He has elven accuracy.
Yeah.
Have you
No, no.
Roll septuple damage.
You need advantage for that to happen.
Yeah, some
you've
bullshit,
bumped
I'm
his
just
strength,
thinking.
haven't you?
Hmm?
You've bumped his strength, haven't you?
Yeah. It's bumped up on the stat.
And if I'm up on 1,
So 11. I rolled not very well.
No, fail.
11 misses. Ugh. Snarls at you. This is dumb.
Lovely. It's not multi-attacking. Wonderful. Cool.
Can't. He's not level 5. Oh no, the
Werewolf.
template thing.
Oh no, oh no, because he's modified. He doesn't get werewolf multi-attack. Win. Good times. The Oberon, looking through the owl's eyes, basically sends them all to fly around fleeting.
Okay.
Take the help action for each of them.
Okay. So they will
And
need
then-
to be within melee range to get that. Yeah.
They have to fly in, and then I think they can.
fly by. Like,
Basically, yeah, they're going to do flyby. They're
So that
owls.
means.
They fly in, they do the help action, they fly away.
Right. Okay. So essentially to try and distract him to
Yeah.
give advantage for the allies.
Yeah.
Um,
But they have the trait flyby,
Yeah,
which means they don't
Means
provoke
they can-
opportunity attacks.
yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Yes, I remember
Owls.
talking about this before. Yeah.
owls.
Okay. Great. Nice use of the owls. All right. That's them. So next
Yeah.
up.
That was the owls. That's me telling the owls to do the thing, the owls do the thing.
Oh, okay.
Moving on.
That's me then. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
5.
I've got advantage from brute
Yeah,
force upside down.
and from the help action, you got all the advantage.
So highest is 13, so that's 20 to hit.
20 does hit. Roll some damage.
14 damage.
14 points of damage. Oh yeah, I'm doing it on here. So we'll just go. Yeah, let's go 14 damage. And you can see at home that if you're watching live here on the stream, which you should be, that you can see that his health has just gone down. So just do it right there.
And I'm going to bonus action to dash and back.
Okay, yes, and aware there, and there's no other enemy within 5 feet of you, so you get swashbucklers, that's cool. Great, next up. I want to say that's Malar, is it not? Tossing around, Malar.
If we take him down, I can stabilise him. And then sort of cast a hand at Fleeting. Give me a wisdom
Save. Told the dead?
Yes, indeed.
I'm
DC
just-
14.
I'm standing there with Fleeting's blood on my
Natural
sword.
one.
Yes! I knew you could do that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Of course.
11 points of necrotic damage.
Oh boy, 11 points of necrotic damage. Okay, so Wolf Fleeting is looking pretty ropey right now.
Wolf Fleeting has less hit points than all the werewolves we had to deal with 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago.
And
Yep.
after that, that's it.
Well, that is then
Top
the
the
rats
round.
are going to start running as fast as they can.
So you summoned the
Join.
rats with the staff and they're now
Yeah.
heading. So they will get 30 feet into the maze.
And they're going to dash, I guess.
Okay,
60
so
foot.
60 feet.
How
the-
far away is the end goal? How
Still a
fast
bit
is
of a way. They need to make a survival check.
it? Okie dokie.
They get distracted by some rocks.
They get attacked by the
Twigs
plants.
attack them.
They don't have any kind of proficiency in that. Cool. Is it 6?
6. Okay, so they.
Oh,
You can't
full
see what
size.
happens, but they take a bit longer getting where you want them to go because they get a bit lost.
Okay.
They start going the wrong direction, then they scurry and turn around. They
They're
catch a couple
literally
of dead
following the
ends.
maze through rather than going direct line.
Between the rats and the music, it feels like I'm sort of in an episode of Fern Gully.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But they are making
Why
their way
would you
towards it. They're
invoke
just not
those
there.
memories?
that's fine. You ready?
I just don't know. Basically, was working out how
Think
far I
he's
should
very
put them away.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Let's put them here.
Okay, great. So now it's
Tim Curry.
Fleeting Wolf.
Nope, Rukon.
Oh, the rats are at the bottom. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. Go for it, Bruce, on top of the round.
Might as well go for another attack. I've got no massive ill will against you, Fleeting. I do hope you don't take this personally.
You've got advantage
Oh, sweet.
from owls.
Okay, well that was
They
worth
help.
one extra point on the result. 16.
Misses, unfortunately.
Yeah,
You just connect, just the arm
Yeah.
is just gleams off.
Well, I suppose you're
Now
probably
glances
not
off.
going to bear any ill will if I don't do anything to you.
Now it's fleeting pup.
Can't do anything.
Because he's
They're unarmed attacks, they do nothing.
and he hasn't got magical punches yet.
No, level 6.
Boo!
Do you know what? As a bonus action, he clicks his heels and deactivates the boost of speed because that's how it
Yeah. Alright.
His attack actions do grapple.
We just don't follow the
Hey.
Okay, so now he swings the hammer again, the wolf, this time slamming it into the ground,
Stop reading
right
its
by
effects.
you.
Stop reading the hammer's effects.
You need to make a Constitution saving throw, Brucon. As
But of
thunder
course.
emits from the hammer.
Okay, that kind of Constitution saving throw.
Oh,
okay
yes.
I'm okay with that. Ooh!
Nice.
Thought about being a 2, decided instead it felt better about being a 22.
20, so that's definitely going to
I
succeed.
say thought about being a 2,
Means
thought about being a 6.
half damage from the thunder wave.
When do I get nonsense monkish immunity to that? Oh, 7th level. So
Which means instead of taking 10 points of thunder damage, you only take 5. And you're not pushed away either.
Thunderstruck.
You've been thunderstruck!
And we're done. Moving. He's also then going to pivot round.
Pivot.
And that's his go. Next.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's just gonna keep telling the owls to do their thing.
The owls also need to make the save because they're within the area of the thunder wave.
And then fly by, go
Oh,
down.
how far up could they get?
They've got like a.
They got 60 foot
They've got a
movement,
60-foot movement.
so they can get 30 feet up,
Yeah.
come down.
Oh yeah, because with 60. Okay,
Owls
fine.
are hands down the best combat familiar.
No, it's fine. It's just because I knew they flew across from where you guys were
Oh,
at front,
yeah.
so I wasn't sure if they had enough movement. But if they got 60 feet, fine.
I guess
Should
'cause
be
of the-
studying.
Can't make attacks.
Hi. Thanks for tuning in.
Hello.
Yay!
Excellent
Hello.
name.
Yes, excellent name.
Should be studying.
Right, so what's happening? What's going on?
Or is it kind of Glaswegian-
The owls do the thing, and then it's round 2.
So they're help action again.
Yeah.
Fly by.
So you don't.
5, 10, 20, 25, and stab. Oh, that's actually pretty bad. 9 plus 7, 16. That misses.
16 misses, unfortunately.
9 and a 5.
You roll like 9 dice, for God's sake.
Bonus action 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Back where I was. I just go up, I miss, and I'm like, it's cool.
Goodbye.
Seth has his own version of flyby.
Read.
And just back up.
Screw this, I'm out.
Hey,
Yeah, fair
fleeting
enough.
buddy, that wasn't my
Why
rapier.
did I even send these owls in?
I tried.
Yes, it is intense music. Thank you. I hope it suits the mood. All right. So that's your turn.
Why not?
Next.
An attempt.
Malar is
Malar.
getting close.
Oh, multiple tents.
Give me another wisdom saving throw, please.
All right.
Toll them deads.
16 on the dice,
Yeah, that's.
but he's -1 wisdom, so 15.
Yeah, beats my 14. So.
And just roars in your direction. Should be studying says that is a very fancy hat.
Good name and good taste. Good
Yes,
man.
thanks. A good man.
That joke hat that was brought for you as a joke.
Right. What you don't realise is that fancy hat
distinguished.
in should be studying's culture. That's a fancy hat is the worst insult anyone can.
If you want to finish him off with the hammer, that's fine.
Well, we'll see about that, shall we? So the rats.
Rats. They're going to keep moving. Are they officially where they are on the map?
Yes, yes,
So
they are.
10, 20. So they're going to dash so that they are up against 15.
They can move into his space if you want them to.
Sure, they're going to move into his space for the fun of that.
All these, how many rats? Like a swarm of rats
Yeah.
burst out of the hedge.
Yeah,
Just
really should have
shots,
saved his thunder wave.
Waves
rather
of
than using it on
rats.
one target.
Okay, right. I'm on my response to that.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
I'm going to make you use that stuff.
Yeah. So the rats are swarming around, but they've used their action to dash, so
Yep.
they're not attacking.
Okay.
Top the round.
Brucon.
Let's carry on. Got very little. This continues strongly in the.
Advantage.
Yeah, no, I remember. This continues strongly the theme of the dinner party of Brucon going. I mean, I guess I could do a thing. All right. Yeah. Okay. 25.
Hits.
Yeah. So this
Hits
was
the
4,
Such a sight for a
9 damage.
Uh,
The silver
that is
sword.
enough to bring him down.
Oh.
So
Look it down.
So would you like to describe to us how
We should have just let you
how
go
you
on
bring
the
down-
We had this handy.
fleeting wolf?
Yeah.
Double-handed.
Didn't need you guys.
Cookery. Jump up and it's going to aim to get it like in the meat of the shoulder peck area without going down. So through, not into. if
Yes,
that
not
makes
into
sense.
vital
Yeah,
organs.
well, I mean, he is a werewolf, but even so. And then the idea is to bear him to the ground, or wolf him to the ground.
Ride the wolf to the
Yeah,
ground.
right, yeah, exactly. Having concluded that chasing the dragon is not possible, he's going to substitute chasing the wolf and ride that pony all the way down.
Chase the dragon, subdue the wolf, they're all things.
Yeah.
You
So the
bring
net
him
effect
down.
is to end up with Brucon like on his chest, with him on the ground. In
Yep.
a slightly compromised position.
So you bring him down. He's still in his wolf form, though unconscious
Yeah.
currently, and
Yeah.
he's still breathing, but he would appear to be
Yeah.
dying at this stage. He is.
He said compromising.
He's on death saves. So it's now his turn, as you've just done that. So he's now on the floor.
No duh.
Succeeds on his first
Just remind you.
death save with 17.
Okay.
Oh, put it in the wrong box. Success. There we go. Right, that's his turn. So next up, yes, the opera.
Cool. I see it go down, but now I don't know what.
But then you see him and Brucon go down.
There's pretty much nothing we can do about it.
Well, the rats, you commanded the
No,
rats to
wrong.
attack him, and they're still going to. So they would still do that in their next turn unless you take them out.
Yeah.
Like, no,
I
dispel the
will.
rats.
Well, I'll tell the rats too. Can I tell the rats from this?
Abort.
What's the rule on rat commanding?
I know you just got there, but stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will yell at the rats to stop. That doesn't require an action from me. I'll tell the owls to just do another health action just in case.
So
Comes in handy.
the rats are still on him. They're just
The rats have just sort of like got to him and then just sort of swarmed over and then sort of drifted off to the side looking a little bit confused.
Cool. Let's go. And Seth's turn, there's nothing to do, so I'll pass.
the rats are not on him anymore.
Not
So on your initiative, you rolled 6. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I swap with you, please? In fact, can I swap with you first?
Yeah.
So you
Just
give your
shuffle
7
them
to him and then give the 6 to me. Thank you.
Let's join the
Join the party!
I pass.
Okay. So it's not my turn anymore. Because 6.
Yeah.
So, from out of the bushes not far away from you, needles fly forth towards
It's not a stationary pod, is it?
towards Malar
Oh, what?
and to Brucon.
Yeah.
That's 2 attacks. Malar does a 22 hit,
Yeah.
and I'm going to guess an 8 misses for Brucon.
Correct.
Okay. Hey! Should be studying, just followed us. Thank you very much.
Perfect timing.
Whoa!
That was unbelievable.
That was the best timing.
Getting struck by a needle. Wow!
If people could subscribe or whatever it is in time to our things,
Oh, it's 2d6 for the needles. My bad.
If you ever say something like, how come you never scratched? There was never a moment for the. Ah!
Yeah.
You take 4 points of piercing damage from a needle as it hits you, Malar. Seeing it, this one as it hits you in the arm. It's not purple like the one before. This is something different. This looks between. It's similar to a kernel from a like a pine cap or something like that. It's not. It's wooden. It's like bracken. It's not from a plant, seemingly. You also see Seth on the opposite side of the field. You see 2 shambling, human-sized plants appear. Like they're humanoid, but they're made completely of
vines and so on. They appear just on those benches around there. Yeah, just there.
Did the shots that hit Malar come from them?
They came from nearer you, but you can't see currently what's there.
Noise.
So these, they're like 6 feet tall. They look vaguely human, which is kind of off-putting. But they both suddenly just slam their arms into the ground, and vines spew forth from them across the ground. So, in a 15-foot radius centered on them, these roots and vines appear.
Each one within 15 feet of them, that's going to be the rats, need to make
strength saving throws.
Sorry, rats.
Who's making saving throws?
Malon and rats.
Oh, solid.
19.
19 succeeds.
3.
Fails. Which means that the rats are currently restrained.
They're like,
Sort of
Wait.
These vines and roots.
There is swarm of rats. They're immune to being restrained.
Ah, no.
the rats are like, no, I
God
was so
damn
close
it.
to helping. And then one of them's like, wait a minute, we can just do whatever we like.
You all hear a voice going, "Oh, that's not blue."
Fuck, we still have that
I
right.
forgot
Yeah.
that in Malay.
Nibbles.
Is it now my turn?
And the other rats
Jack?
run away.
Yes, that's the end of their turn.
Right,
Go
runs over, slaps a spare the dying onto fleeting.
Very sensible.
So he is not
Stable.
on death state anymore. And turns, backs up, and no, he's good. He's just gonna hold his shield up. Turn.
Alright, so you've stabilised the dying fleeting wolf. Meaning he's now out of the fight essentially, but he's stable. Which is probably for the best, because if you brought him back, you'd still be wolfing out. So, okay, great. So next up then,
Rats.
Rats. Now,
rats. Yep, they
the rats
can't be
have
restrained, so they
Yeah.
get out of the vines.
the staff directors say they don't issue any commands to them, which are, some people back. They defend themselves from hostile creatures, but otherwise take action.
I'd say like that's an equivalent of
Is
a
that-
dodge action. Right?
Okay, yeah, I'm going to say, so they're not attacking. They're not going to go into attack the things until I tell them
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
So,
Cool.
so you can command
The
them
rats
next
do nothing.
I'm really digging this remotely open sort of calling an airstrike.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's probably like the best
AC
use
130.
so far, like to keep him out of harm's way. It's
Warlock 130 inbound. Deploy the 30mm rats. Anyway.
The fact that it's like the high
Challenge of
tower
rats.
is controlled by the fact that the different initiatives really mess with my planning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that's tough. All right.
So much power, but I need to wait.
The power is nothing without control.
Anyway,
Yeah. Brucon handsprings up into position.
bopping and lopping and hippity hopping.
Bop it. Twist it.
Spin it.
Punch it. And friggin' yell. And just.
Oh, that area is difficult terrain, so if you double movement, but you can get
That's
there 'cause you're quick.
I assure you that's not a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4 squares.
I point and laugh at your difficult terrain.
Yeah,
and walk
exactly.
across it.
Yeah.
It's just to make it clear.
Yeah. Brucon does the Melbourne shuffle across the difficult
15-foot
terrain for
radius,
no
but I
reason
can't
other than he can. And
It's basically
then,
that side of the place.
Screw it. Flurry of blows. Is he still getting the help?
They were on
against the wolf.
fleeting, so
It needs to, it needs to come around to my initiative to direct it onto the
Right, okay, that's fine. Alright,
It's
so
the same twigs
so
that you killed before with like
Whoa!
4 HP.
yeah, exactly.
unfortunately,
Okay, so well, 3 attacks then.
I'd roll one at a time.
With the difficult terrain, that's he's not going to have enough movement left to make it over to
You
the
took
other.
those off.
Yeah. Typical. Anyway, okay, so we'll say purple. Purple is the cookery, and then the other 2 are unarmed. No, sorry, the other one. I'm not going to burn a key point against these scrubs. So purple is short sword, black and red is unarmed. Short sword is 20, and the other is 14.
they both hit.
Okay, so this is plus 8.
Hit these guys.
So that's 14 damage.
14 damage.
Yaha.
Yeah, it's
Kill
still
them
up.
all.
It's still up, but but you
Oh,
chip
God.
away and you hack one of its limbs off.
Cool.
Its wooden limbs collapses to the ground.
Have you responded to that?
Oh, I
characters
haven't
made
yet.
of Lego, so cute.
Yes, should be studying. They are all made of Lego. I mean, it's just so adaptable. They're great. Gotta love it. They're being modelled beautifully there.
Some of
by
them-
Marshall Isley.
Here is
them
the head
have
of our
ruffs.
werewolf.
You work with what you
Yeah, it's Nesquik. It's the were-rabbit. Anyway, so yeah, you hit for 14 points of damage. It's still up, but it's looking a bit ropey at this time. That's your turn done. It's going to respond because it's now me.
No.
It's Fleeting Look,
yeah,
who's stable. So no, I'm going to move
It's
that
now the owls.
I'm gonna leave that there. It's now the owls. Go owls.
Well, it's Leobrin directing the owls.
Yes.
So Leobrin tells the owls to start assisting on attacks against these wood creatures.
One on each one.
I'll
Or, well, it's 2.
one on each one, and I'll put another one on. I guess the one that Rupan's already.
And the other one,
No.
be told to find what that shot came from.
Oh, yeah. Those darts that came out of the hedgerows.
Yeah.
Sure. Perception check.
I'll send one owl to look for that, and the other 2 owls to do tag onto each of those and then fly away again. I think these guys have. This is looking, so they have advantage.
Yep.
Which is fine. 12.
12. As far
11.
as
Sorry, 11.
As far as you can tell, though, as far as the owl can see, there's nothing visible
Yeah.
through the hedgerow.
Okay. That is me and the owls done. Oh, and I'll tell the rats to attack the things.
Okay.
When it comes to that.
When it comes to their turn, great. Okay, that's you guys. That's you and the owls. Over to you,
Me.
Seth.
I'm gonna just draw a dagger and throw it straight at that group on isn't fighting.
Isn't fighting. Yep, sure.
Wait, no, then next. I'll attack the one that group on is fighting. Sorry.
Okay, with a dagger. So throw a dagger.
Yeah, so just throw a dagger.
All right,
So
you need to.
I didn't move there
Yeah.
for that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're going to have advantage.
Just my sneak attack.
You're gonna have to move one space round because you're behind the statue currently.
5, 10, 15, 20.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Yeah.
That's 2 natural 20s.
Oh my
You
god.
only get to use one.
That's not how it works. Cool, so I rolled 40. I rolled a natural 40.
I mean, 40's not a natural 20, so.
4, 8, 9. Nope, that's wrong dice. 8. 12. 7, 8, 20, 25.
Yeah, baby.
The one that Brooke was already
Yeah,
used.
yeah.
I think you liquefy.
Yeah. That is enough to
So I
bring it
just throw
down.
the dagger through and it's going to just keep going through.
It does, yes. It keeps going through it, embedding itself in the hedge, lost forever.
By who? Thick wooden body doesn't stop the dagger. Hedge does.
Well, head is more bouncy.
There's more hedge than there is blight.
Let me have my hammer.
Just in case you didn't know that.
No, I mean he's dead.
I can't bonus action dash disengage hide. I'm gonna hide. I'm gonna go behind. I'm behind the statue from this guy, so I'm
Bonus action going to hide, so
Yeah.
then make a stealth check.
have dice for that. I rolled a 19
19, okay. As far as you can tell, you're hidden from it.
That's the number.
plus
What's your dex and proficiency? And then expertise.
my stealth. So I rolled a 19, so that's 30.
30. Yeah, you're pretty convinced you're hidden currently. You're fairly certain you could be hidden.
Level 5 rogue. Remarkable.
Oh yeah, level 5, that's only 28. Oh.
Wait, he hasn't had his level 5.
Yeah,
He's
so
still level
it's
4
So
currently.
it's only 28, not 30.
Okay. That's
You've
pretty
already
hidden as far as you're aware. Alright, next up is them.
Twigs.
Twigs.
Well,
Twiggy.
so I didn't want to attack the other ones.
Okay, so firstly that one.
Dies.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, so it moves 2 spaces towards Brucon, and then it reaches one of its arms towards one of its grasping hands, and from it, from the fingers, more tendrils, more of these sort of not tendrils, these vines come out of it and lash around you, trying to attack you and constrict you. Does a 21 hit?
Yes.
Okay, so you take.
No, he doesn't check.
I could.
Literally
but
has.
I trust you. I
He
trust
literally
you.
has all the resources he needs. To
But even if I didn't, like guys, it's all about trust. Just to trust you. I don't want to be checking up on you. I should just trust that you're honest. So that's
NPCs, just say no.
7 points of bludgeoning damage, and you're currently grappled.
Yeah, and it's 10 feet away from him.
Yes. It has reach.
7 points. Did you say?
7 points. Yep. 7 points of bludgeoning damage. Meanwhile, 2 more of these needles fly out from the other corner.
Oh, and you're not going
One-
to hit Seth because he's hidden.
Malar, first one's going to completely
From which
miss
corner?
you. From roughly where the owl is.
Oh, so technically they can see.
One misses Malar, the second one misses Seth. Yeah, embedding in the ground by, because although you're hidden from that one,
Yeah.
those guys are in line of sight. And they advance forward. 2 of them reveal themselves.
Oh, Lord.
3 and 4
From in the
months,
corner.
We're going to a dance.
Fleeting is
These
made-
ones, unlike the one that is currently grappling Brucon, these are covered in spikes and spines. They look like very thorny individuals.
Oh, this is a whole new level.
Fleeting has made a lot of friends.
Cool. I am glad that we did not just proceed with me and Brucon if they both went out. This would have gone downhill.
If you were unconscious, it would be me and Brucon.
No, from the fear.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Malar, it's your turn.
Oh no, Mr. Seth! I turn. I assume these are my good presents.
Yes, yeah, they're definitely seen now.
This guy can give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom sitting through. They're not very wise, but 18 on the dice. 17 will succeed.
Okay, I will try and. What's this rectangle?
Oh, it's a bench, yeah. Just a stone bench.
I'm trying to interpose myself between Mr. Seth and these 2 spiky dudes.
With your shield up, ready.
They're best friends.
I'm gonna run straight past him.
Turn, that's all I'm going to do.
Okay.
Rats are going to do a thing.
Do the rats.
Oh yes.
Yeah, there
They were
are.
told to attack.
Yeah. They're attacking the wood creatures. They will go to the nearest wood creature.
Yeah. Make an attack roll for the rats.
Where are those rat boys?
Wait, what did they get advantage for?
Now.
Because you say?
Still got an
Oh no, the owl. That's fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
That was
yeah,
going to
yeah,
be
fair
that was
enough.
going to
Do
be
that.
for Brucon.
I was like,
I know.
stop giving yourself advantage.
I know. I said just tell the DM. I didn't mean I
It's,
do it.
it's only 1 advantage per owl, but no one has hit that guy yet.
Yep.
So sure. Oh yeah, sure. Let's do it. That is 14 to hit.
14 hits, yeah.
Yay! Because maybe I should save that for Brucon in the future.
Say what?
Save the advantage for you rather than the rats.
Can your rats go to the other side?
4, 5, 6, 7. 7 piercing damage from rats.
7 piercing damage. As these rats, as
56.
Brucon, you see before you, the rats scurry towards this mound of vines and just starts chewing into the plant life itself, and see bits snapping off, flying away. It momentarily seems a little bit preoccupied with that, but still holding you fast. That's the rats. Then next,
It's me.
Brucon himself. So
Okay,
you're
well-
grappled.
Yeah, Brucon's going to make an acrobatics check to escape.
Escape the grapple, yeah.
He's going to do a Catherine Zeta-Jones entrapment style.
Yep.
Kind of, elongate himself.
Oh,
and
I literally remember one part.
You remember- yeah, and it's the bit that I'm invoking right now, which is the bit where she's stretching through all the red string. It's the only thing anyone remembers from the film Entrapment. Because it's Catherine Zeta-Jones in a leotard,
just bending,
doing long, slow stretching. Yeah.
I've lost track. Did you get out?
I haven't even rolled through yet.
we got
waylaid by Catherine
Zeta-Jones. I was trying to get you
should
back
be studying. They are fabulous.
Yes, complimenting on Marshall's nail.
Indeed. Did you just roll something?
I did, and then I realised that actually, because of its ability, it has a
static
stat
DC.
to get to.
Cool. Well, because of the squat nimbleness feat, I get advantage on throws to escape being grappled.
You're quite right, but this is a strength check you have to make because it's an ability thing. I'm sorry. But I will say, in all fairness, I will give you advantage on the roll because of this one.
Because I am squat and nimble simultaneously.
Squimble.
So rules is written.
All I'm doing is adding my strength mod to this. No proficiency.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Your strength check.
What is my strength mod? It's not that often.
Strength mod.
It's 2 plus 2.
Right.
Just squimble out of there.
Squimble. Squimbly bimbly from tree to tree. So that will be 18.
Yes, you managed to. So that's your action, but you managed to break free of those vines.
That's my action, isn't
I
it?
love that none of us can see it, yet we all lean forward to be like, oh yes, it's still blurry for us.
All right.
So that's your action. Yeah,
This is cool.
Come out of
Is the
terrain.
ground still
difficult terrain. Yeah.
Maybe get out and leave the rats to do that.
Okay. Was it when he did his thing? When he attacked and restrained me, was the roots and things emerging from the ground?
No, these were coming from him.
Oh right, okay. Well, in that
The ground is still. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, Brucon will backflip Catwoman-like, i.e. pointlessly. 5, 10, 15, 20, would that be? Or
Actually, no, it's only 15 now because that first
15.
one's taken care of.
Cool.
So
Okay, so that leaves 25 feet of movement. So he's going to reposition over to here. So that was so that's 5, 10, 15. He's going to try and can he attempt to start swarming up the statue?
Climbing up it?
Yeah.
Sure.
What kind of what would you look for from that?
What
you think we're being presented with some kind of physical obstacle? Brucon's just going to go around it.
In future, for every fight, every climb from every face. Like, 1 foot bench, what's the climb?
I mean, so generally climbing is unless you have a climb speed, it's normally like just half movement. But if you want to get a bit further than your normal climb, then athletics. Yeah. But it's about 8 feet tall, so
it's 8 feet tall, and Brucon's got quite a bit of movement
left.
left.
So you can probably climb.
Cool. So he's just going to kind of casually, like fingers interlocked behind the back, and just casually stroll up the side of this statue, bemusing onlookers, and then take up position at the top of it, ready for something dramatic next time he comes around.
This isn't like the chandelier moment.
I mean, to be fair, he took 0 damage from that encounter, so the chandelier moment, there are worse things.
I think Leobrin is occupying the chandelier position this time. He's still out for the count.
Anyway, that's Brucon's go.
Leobrin will now direct the owls, an owl each to the 2 new spiky guys, and the third owl will maintain on the one that's with the rats.
It's now this one is now possessed by the spirit of Albert.
And that one's there we go.
Albert and Oliver.
So,
directing and owls have done their thing.
I threw the assassin's knife at the first one, so I'm going to draw the Fug's knife that I stole from that one before. Great, that's my damage dice. I should probably attack first. Got advantage. Got advantage from that. So 22.
22, yeah.
20 attack. That one. Album with the rats.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I know you can hurt them, but it's a slow and steady fight. 10, 13, 18 damage.
18 damage, nice.
I've got 1 knife left.
it's still there, but it's looking pretty bad currently. Looking pretty chewed up.
That's going to end my turn because I can only draw one dagger at a time.
Sad times.
Yep, so, 3 people go.
3 people. Okay.
3 of them.
Three people. First one, the viney one is going to advance towards you 10 feet towards Seth.
Does he get attack opportunity for the rats?
Ooh. I assume the rats would move with him as they're in the space.
No,
No.
he leaves their space, so.
Because they're climbing all over him, so they're obviously going to go.
Oh, I mean, if.
That's...
It's not how they go, but it's,
because this happened
it's a
before in the
logical-
cave, didn't it? With the basilisks. But I will this time because they are climbing over him. They'll move with him.
HP we didn't want to lose.
Yeah.
Get hit.
Yeah. So I will rule this time that they
Some
travel
of us,
with
we
him.
start
So
looking-
they're on
Okay.
him, okay?
okay, so they don't take the opportunity attack.
Not this time. Make it so this. It. Sorry, pull it back one because it's got a 10-foot reach, so it doesn't need to be within 5 feet.
Sneaky devil.
So it's going to try and again, vines come out towards Seth this time, trying to constrict him. I don't think that's going to work though. Does a 12 hit? No, great. So you fend it off with your daggers in hand or rapier or what have you. That's that one. The other two, this time focusing their fire on Malar, they're going to fire more needles towards you.
Just a big pinprick.
First one spectacularly misses. The second one, 13
Ooh.
misses as well. All right, put up your shield. Two needles hit there. That's them. That's all they do. Next.
Okay, seeing that we're not in a terrible place, he's going to burn that last second level spell slot. Spiritual weapon.
That doesn't confer flanking or anything like
So I get to make a melee spell attack with that.
Technically, if you want advantage on this guy, you've got it. Yeah, use it, actually.
Okay.
Because we're not all gonna...
Do that.
Oh no, I mean, with the weapon.
that. Yeah, just
With
because
the
of the owl.
The owl can give you
You can do it. You can do it.
I'll take that.
The very thought of this attack causes them to topple over.
Natural 20.
Nice.
All right, roll that
You
down.
need another D12. Won't you?
This is a spiritual weapon. These are D8s.
Oh right. Okay.
That's going to be 8 plus 4. It's 12. 12 points of raid damage.
Only had 11 hit points, so you take it out.
Back off.
As it erupts,
Oh, don't take me out of
an
that.
explosion of needles and other foliage. All right.
I'll reach
That's your bonus action, so you still got an action. Right?
Oh.
That's right, right?
Oh yeah, you're right. That is actually a bonus action.
I remember spiritual weapon.
No.
Hello, good.
I'm going to
Bonus
whack
action, no concentration, just completely broken.
Yeah, you know.
No, it's fine.
Advantage on that one, because that's a different owl.
Yeah.
I'm going to whack it with a stick.
Oh,
That's going to be
20 something.
21.
yeah, hits. Yep.
That's going to be 6 points of bludgeoning.
6 points of bludgeoning. Okay, so this one is still up, but it has taken a good hit, and looking a bit grippy right now.
Turn.
Cool, rats.
Not hempen rope,
Rats are
but
going to
could
attack
be.
the square of the one they're in,
Yep.
the one in the square they're in.
Yep.
You've already used the owl for that, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just
Just a normal attack. Yep.
Well, you've just denied me advantage.
Oh well.
I'll just fire a bunch of attacks.
Where was the
No,
attack?
but it's one.
16, 17. 17 to hit.
That hits.
Yay.
What's the damage?
8 piercing damage from the rat.
So before you, Seth, as this thing shooting vines towards you, you see the rat still going to work, gnawing away and chewing at this thing. Suddenly, this vine-like being just starts to falter and collapses down to the ground as rats just coalesce around it and just devour it.
I'm picturing this being like cartoonish of when termites go to eat something. That
Yeah. It's like piranhas. Yeah, exactly. It's termites. Yeah.
Say cartoonish.
And
I imagine nightmarish.
yeah, that too. should be studying says I
Especially
can never
for
play
Mala.
this. I'm terrible at maths. Don't worry, me too. No,
Not
it
looking
happens.
as a fucking
Writing things down is always helpful. So yeah, and also the roots around they subside as well, and they sort of retreat back to the form. So the area is back to normal, no longer terrain. So that's them taken care of. Just the one left, which Malar is currently engaged with. Next up,
Brucon.
Brucon.
So, question: would Brucon, not that it makes a big difference, but would Brucon get advantage on attacks against Chappie?
Not from the owl.
No, that's what I thought.
And we said the magic weapon doesn't do it.
No, it doesn't
No,
say
but
that.
you do have the high ground.
No, Anakin! I have the high ground!
I'm picturing it going slow motion.
Is there any other
comes
way of
down,
getting
sword
advantage on
drawn.
this?
So I would say if you make a successful acrobatics check on your dive down, that would give you advantage.
Sick. Okay, well then, yeah, definitely. do
Yeah,
that.
maybe.
Acrobatics
Just
then.
said the magic words to Brucon.
Acrobatics? What?
Yeah, exactly.
There.
So, oh, that's a 25.
Yeah! Have some advantage.
Sick. Okay. Alright. Brucon is going to launch off the statue, go tumbling through the air, and the landing is going to do a bicycle kick, and then follow up with the short sword attempting to bisect this thing on the way down. So this will be the
Please hit, please
make
hit,
the bicycle kick first with advantage. So that's 20,
Hits.
and then the short sword. That's 16.
Hits as well.
Cool. Okay,
He is
so
not well armored.
this is plus 8. Oh my god! So that's 16 damage.
Describe to us how you.
Well, I've just a half.
Oh yeah. How
I
you-
did
sorry,
already.
No. Describe to us how you hit the landing.
Yeah, superhero landing all day long.
All right.
Like
okay,
the
just-
3-point landing with the cookery just kind of emerging from the bottom of this thing. I've just
Splinters just
cleaved
flying
in twain.
everywhere around you as
Yeah,
you
yeah.
land.
Yeah, and then for no
Wooden
obvious
fireworks.
reason an explode. Yeah, precisely.
just Michael Bay style
yeah,
explosion.
yeah.
Oh no, Power Rangers landing where you land and for some reason there's an explosion with your
Yes,
smoke
yes.
behind you.
Yes.
Mighty Morphin Power.
Yeah. If I ever do end up in a
Rangers.
Henshin campaign, I'm just playing Brucon again.
Just pretty well work.
Yeah. The Brown Ranger.
Like you,
Oh, so there's just an explosion of brown behind you.
Bit.
only
We'll
person
make
seeing
it the
this-
Gold Ranger for Lager.
The only person seeing this is Malar, who's like, oh, man, that's
Oh yeah, we actually
Mr.
are.
Brucon, that's
We're all facing the other way.
Ah,
What
I
I
see
miss?
it from one of my owls.
But you never tell him.
Brucon doesn't embrace the stunt life for praise. Brucon's affiliation with stunts is pure. It is
Don't take
the
the
stunts
stunt life
themselves.
The
The
stunt
stunt life chose you.
Yeah, exactly.
He is the chosen one.
Yeah. He's beginning to believe.
Oh,
Wait, so this
we
guy's
out to
dead.
combat.
You are currently out of combat, yes.
Cool.
As you have vanquished the
Fleeting
blights.
still looks like a werewolf, right?
He does, and he's unconscious currently.
Cool.
Right, let's
Let's take him to the
The moon
portal.
is shining bright above you.
yeah.
But what was that thing that Beerbrun said? Said there was something else in the maze?
There is something in the way.
Was it oblong shaped?
Good point. Yeah, so actually, well, you can see it right before you, actually, right at the foot of the statue. On one side is appears to be a trunk of some variety, 5 feet wide. Sorry, 5 feet long.
6 seconds later.
Can I check it for traps?
6 seconds later, the rats form into an arrow pointing towards it.
You make an investigation check, sure.
Yeah, check if it's like open.
Yeah, sure.
Can I look over his shoulder as he's doing this and go, oh, goodness, Mr. Fleeting was after a trunk that didn't belong, a tree that didn't belong. Do you think it? Oh no, I'm thinking of something else. I apologize.
His trunk
I carry on.
touches you. He's extra.
I give you guidance, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I rolled it.
I say
before
you
said
rolled
it,
with
yeah.
the guidance
I
before.
rolled it for guidance before.
That was weird.
I assume guidance.
What's my investigation?
I assume guidance. You can never assume.
Yeah, sorry,
guidance.
because you came to do it, I assumed guidance, so I picked up. I actually put down the other 2 d20s. So I was like, oh yeah, we're not in combat.
What's wrong on your investigation check?
Where's my investigation? +1, +3, 19.
Doesn't appear to be trapped from what you can tell.
I thought you were going to say, it doesn't appear to be a chest. So it doesn't appear to be trapped or anything. Is it
Doesn't appear to be, no.
locked?
It's locked, yes.
Can I use my thieves tools to try and unlock it?
You can. Make a Thieves' Tools check. So this will be a Dex check, and then you add your proficiency with Thieves' Tools. If you're expert, you get to add expertise to it.
Yeah. So if I'm So I've got expertise in it. Do I have proficiency twice?
So it's double your proficiency bonus
Proficiency,
for
yeah.
expertise.
And
Yeah.
so it's my dex and double proficiency.
Yes.
So it's +9.
Yeah. And sorry, Leobrin, can you take
Oh!
Natural 20.
natural 20?
+9.
You just instinctively know this kind of lock. You recognise these trunks. They're very popular
Yeah.
in and around the
Yeah, like
Docklands.
The lock
Yeah.
pick
Supposed
starts
to
to
be
go
locked.
towards it, and it gets afraid of being unlocked, so it just does it itself.
You fonz it. You just go. Oh no. It's gone.
You recognise this style of lock from many a cargo hold in pirate ships and merchant vessels and so on that you have come across in your time before joining the adventuring party. And you open it very instantaneously. You open it and swings open. But we'll get back to that. Leobrin, what is your passive perception?
My passive is a nice round 10.
Okay.
No plus, no
So,
minus.
as you're viewing through your familiar, does that render you
So-
blind and deaf?
These ones. What's the description?
Because it refers to find familiar in the description, but I
So-
didn't read it in too much depth.
Actually, yeah, because this one.
So I think it might still be the same effects as find familiar.
Yeah, because this. Well, the thing is, I can. Says familiar summon by the cell can telepathically communicate with you.
Yep.
And share their visual or auditory senses while they're within 1 mile of you.
Yep.
So I don't need to be watching through their eyes, but I probably will be because. But they can be just chatting back to me like on a radio.
Mhm.
But I probably.
But
will be
at this
watching.
point during the combat, you're
Yeah.
probably still looking through eyes
Yeah.
until you know it's all clear.
Well, there's a magic chest.
So-
if you do
Well, there's a magic chest while someone
if
is.
you do look through it, it's until the start of your next turn. So you look in it for a few seconds, then you come back
Yeah.
to you.
You feel something kick your leg.
I pop back to my own vision.
You see on the floor by you the still bound but now conscious half-elven assassin looking up at you,
Punch her in the face.
and she has in between her teeth a vial which is attached, a very small sort of like test tube
Send her
size,
back and try and
attached
get it.
to a silver necklace which was around her neck.
I'm gonna
just poking
grab
to her.
this.
It's empty,
Oh.
and you take it, and she says, "You'll never find out about us." And foam just starts appearing round her mouth, and she just starts coughing, spluttering, and collapses.
Nope.
Eyes roll back into her head. She did.
Death doesn't stop us from questioning you.
Even if I bop resistance on it.
It's too late.
No,
The
I
effect's
can't.
already
I
happened.
won't
She's
do
already
that.
drunk it, so,
Yeah.
so it's too late to do that. But
I'll lose all 3 familiars if I do that.
We gave you one job. Gave you one job.
And while you were spectating at Seth with this
Yeah.
chest, by the way, did you call dibs?
Dibs.
No, all we hear is
Meanwhile-
caca, dibs, caca.
Meanwhile, back in the centre, you open the chest, and inside you see appears to be a humanoid body, a corpse decomposing. It wears a blue sash and along with a white overall robe. It's covered in blood, and
That colour scheme.
I would need you to
Sounds-
make a medicine check to glean any more information about the identity of this individual.
This for a corpse.
The owls are all perched watching you.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Is that 2 nat 20s
Yes.
in a row?
Yes.
Yes.
So he does what you do, but better.
Oh, thank you very much. Should be studying. Says this script /RP is very well thought out and planned.
Ah,
Thank you.
Well, that's all you, because we're not planning anything.
The roleplay is also you guys, though. So that's definitely a compliment
Yeah.
to us all.
Now and again, when no alternative presents itself.
well,
Put out
my plan
roleplay.
goes, can I stab it? No, he's already dead. Can I stab it? She's not in the place.
You turn over the face. You can see this is an older male, and something about its facial structure, its receding hairline, its sort of pronounced brow. This appears to be the real Adams, the butler.
Ooh.
While that is happening, can I be hog-tying fleeting up?
Sure. Make a sleight of hand check.
What's the prize at the centre of the maze?
16.
16, pretty good. Yeah, time up as best as you're able. You've watched Seth hog tying things, and you've taken note.
Come back.
Yeah.
Oh, we should just wait for Fleeting to come back to us in
Then
the morning.
when I do that, I sort of then come back over to Seth. Oh, what are you? Oh, Mr. Seth.
found the real butler, but I don't know why he's here in the maze.
Well, he's probably being hidden from everybody else.
I mean, yes, good set of traps, but really weird place to store a body.
Well, if you're trying to disguise yourself as someone, I suppose it's only natural to put the body somewhere where it's not going to be found. Although I must admit, why would he
Yeah, I mean,
put him in a chest?
They had that secret pantry where we found everything else. The last thing we did when we fought the assassin.
The dovecote.
Yeah, in that in that crypt place. There are literally crypts there. They could have hid him in there.
Oh yeah, good point, Mrs. Well, I'm not gonna question the. Actually, we should probably get back to Mr. Leoben. That person's over there.
Actually, as you've said,
Take the corpse out of the chest. See if there's anything else in there.
sure, yeah, you can do that. Doesn't appear to be much else in there at this time. Should be studying says the voice acting is on point. Oh, my friend, you wait until we have more characters. You haven't seen
You're
Jack Time yet.
a new arrival,
You've
so.
not heard stammering like ours in
Should we study?
but-
Go and check out our YouTube channel.
Thank you very much.
We've got previous episodes where you can just watch Jack just ad-libbing to
And
himself.
don't go studying.
Yeah. Who needs to study? So yeah, it's actually at this point when you pull the body out that it hits you just the noxious, just the rotting flesh. The smell is unbearable. Part of you kind of goes, yeah, I can smell this from distance. That's not pleasant. All right. But you examining him, it doesn't appear to have any goods on
Were we
him.
able to discern what the magic was? Was it just the chest?
Mhm.
The
Do we
chest.
take the chest?
Well, you can't now because you don't have Leobrin with you to detect magic, so you can't tell if there's still a magical aura in this area or not.
Oh well, Brucon gestures at Malar and goes, well, what do we think? Should we take this with us?
Do you think there's
Is it big
rhyme
enough
or
for
reason to
fleeting?
bring it with us?
Well,
It's-
I mean, I imagine the.
you can tell by the way that this body has been packed into it that
I imagine the
naturally you
family
would be able
of
to do
the
without
deceased
breaking
would
his
like
neck or
to-
something.
would like
It's
it
not
returned.
quite long enough.
The
I'll
body.
leave the
Yeah.
corpse in it.
Remember
I'll
morals,
take-
cleric
I'll take-
guy.
I thought you were talking about the box.
Well, might as well take the body in the
I'll
box.
close the chest.
What about him? I want it fleeting. In
You
wolf form.
you two carry fleeting. I'll carry the chest. We'll head to that portal.
You're
Are
taking
you
the
sure
body.
about that way round?
You're taking the body in the box.
Body in the
I think a chest with a body in it weighs more than a body.
Yeah.
It's a big werewolf.
And also, Fleeting would want you to carry
He
him.
would.
Fine, I'll drag fleeting. You drag them.
Oh, this is payback for the time he dragged you.
Oh yeah, I drag him.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
hit everything along the way.
He is
Yeah.
hog-tied at the
Face
moment, so-
face down,
Yeah.
carried by one ankle.
Does he have a tail?
Fleeting doesn't. Oh no, he doesn't.
Tiefling.
Doesn't have a it doesn't have a noticeable tail. It may be inside his armor, but you don't have
not
one
checking.
out.
Just
Cool.
tuck down his trousers.
We're
Exactly.
dragging the chest. We're dragging.
Oh, well, we can carry the chest.
Yeah, that's what we
Oh,
said.
wait a minute.
You're dragging Fleeting.
His
Ma-
third leg. That's not a thing.
Malar and Brucon,
Yeah.
can you gaze at as you go to pick up this chest? You notice the statue in the centre of
Mhm.
this dwarven lady, quite a curvaceous dwarven female, long flowing robes with a very large book. Can you both make history checks? for
Sure.
me?
Indeed.
Do I get any?
Not stone colour
No.
this.
Okay, so-
but this is more based on your background that you get
Fine,
to make
okay.
this check.
Okay.
What'd you get?
5.
Okay, not much better. 8.
8. Okay. All you can tell you can't tell who this individual is. You can tell based on the I would say with your stone cutting, you can tell that this was carved many centuries ago, and that this would denote somebody of importance. You would believe to the Senate, given the robes. But that's all you get at this time.
The galactic sound.
The first ever galactic empire. That's all you can do at this time. Then the three of you are gonna leave. So you're gonna head back towards that portal. Okay, great. You get to the portal, and suddenly you are back at the entrance to the maze. The Oberon is standing there with you, and at his feet is the corpse now of the
Does it still just look
assassin
unconscious?
with this like foam saliva all around
Can it
the
still
mouth.
does it still just look unconscious to us as we come through? Can we notice that straight away.
You notice this straight away, the foam, yeah.
There's also a.
Mr. Leobrin.
There's
What do we
also
say about beer?
There's also a
Foamy.
6-foot deep hole long enough to fit a body
What
that
did
he has
you
been
do?
mould earth excavating in
It's
preparation.
just started.
Can I ask Leo?
Like
Oh
every
yeah,
6
mold up is
seconds I
5
can
feet.
move
Yeah,
my-
you're quite right, yes.
If we hadn't come back, would the body have still been here? Would you have told us that she died?
I was getting it ready and then.
How
Like-
did she die?
The amount of time you guys have spent in there, I could have fully buried the body.
How did she die?
There's poison.
Can I check the body again for more poison?
Sure, make an investigation check.
I failed that investigation check last time.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what happened.
Ah, motherfucking. I'm looking specifically for the damn poison because she had poison shit
Take
on her
that
last
poison
time.
capsule
Certainly.
and just give it a sniff, see if I can identify what it is.
Yeah, make a medicine check.
There we go.
Investigation. I rolled a 14.
14.
I'm looking
Okay.
for poisons on her and stuff.
So you look on her body. You find, you do find tucked into the belt. There are a few secret compartments which hold very small vials. There are no vials currently on her though, aside from this one which
No vials on
Malak's
her.
just
Can
taken.
I take that belt?
Take the belt? Yeah, of course you can.
Ah,
It's a
nice.
nice belt.
It
It's
is.
got a
It's,
secret compartment.
Excellent.
they basically got very small sort of grooves tucked on the inside of the belt, so they wouldn't be visible from the outside. Kind of like you'd store bullets in, like on a
Yeah.
bandolier.
Take that.
Oh yeah, bandolier. Yeah.
Hey, we would have wanted to question her when she was alive, wouldn't we?
Man, I was sniffing this capsule.
Good capsule.
Yes, that's why
That-
we
that
brought
is-
it with.
That is why we dragged her around for a long
Cool.
time.
I'm going to chop off her head.
All right. Make
Speak with dead.
a survival check to see how well you can carve this head off.
As he starts to do it, I turn away. 15 on
I
my
rolled-
medicine check.
Okay.
Can I take my time? Because I rolled a natural one. But I'm going to keep trying to chop the head off.
Well, you in your keenness to cut this head off with a natural one, you do manage to sort of hit it right in the centre of the head, and it just kind of breaks one side, kind of
Does it still have a
divides it
mouth?
up. It's still together, yeah. I mean, it's looking decidedly.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like
It's looking like a when a child has a go with Play-Doh and they just kind of having a go at like making a person. And it's just kind of melted on one side. It's got like
to help chat who's just been like, take her belt, take her head.
okay.
Taking
be
the
studying.
belt for stuff, taking the head because we can cast Speak with Dead as long as they have a mouth.
We can't.
I'm
You
looking forward
will
to
eventually-
should be studying.
It's
I mean,
gonna
I'm
be
looking forward to
bold.
watching more of these with us and involved in the chat.
Yeah.
And you'll
Hang on, there
because
was that.
one of the things
we've
from
got
watching
a
previous
trunk with
episodes.
some kind of magic on it.
I'm not crazy for taking the
That
head.
might have.
We've already got another head that we need to pass
Did I say
Speak with Dead
cat?
on.
There's
Trunk.
interesting thought processes from some of the characters, and especially when they're opposed to each other, which can be very interesting. Anyway, you were saying
Can
sorry.
I take the head? Try again.
You can try again,
I'd like
but
to
let's
super slowly go towards the neck to just.
we'll do that over the course of the next 5 minutes. You carve off the head. Over to Malar. So the medicine check, you got 15.
Yeah.
Right. So this, it's a poison, for sure. As far as you can tell, this is not something you'd find. It seems to be from some kind of maybe concoction from rare plants, herbs, that sort of thing. It's not the sort of thing that's commonly found in Burikrin. From the smell of it, this is more like something you'd find in Isk. That's where more of these exotic plants, kind of similar to the flower thing that you came across en route, also didn't seem indigenous. This poison doesn't seem particularly native to the region.
There's been the odd little Iskan
Hints and teasers.
hint and teaser.
Should be studies. No, not crazy. You do you, sweetie. Just
Isk be calling us, and we be. Iskan, I'm not familiar, but some of the scents do remind me of home, actually.
You're from Isk?
Poison reminds you of home.
Oh no, there is some.
The nice poison lakes of Isk.
No, Mr. Seth, that's misrepresenting my. It's just there is the constitution of this is, it's the whatever the. Oh, oh.
Alright, I think he's rambling. We're gonna move.
Help me.
we're gonna move away.
Yeah, it's exotic, not the kind of thing you'd commonly find in Burikrin, but perhaps in the markets of this you would find these kind of contraband.
Bland Burikrin.
Yeah.
Spicy fun is bland Burikrin.
I'm
Pepper is
sorry
it?
that you've
Yeah.
got better points.
Birikrin. Pepper is a spice.
I just make a note when you go to Isk.
It's funny you say that.
It is a spice, of course,
No,
but,
but
but it's
also
a
because
really orange.
Burikrin not so good with putting herbs and spices in their food. Their food is considered relatively bland. The crowfly is more
Porridge.
famous for its
Porridge.
food.
The cloak that she had. Can
Yes.
I wrap the head up in it? To
Yes.
add to our collection
You
of heads?
can.
Oh.
The
We
black.
do have a head, don't we? I do remember.
Yeah, we've
now.
got a head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
been a day or so that head, but it's there.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Still got a mouth.
What do we do? What? I saw there was a body in this chest. We've got a body in a chest. We've got a head in a cloak.
Don't worry, we're the good guys.
I roll the now decapitated body into the hole.
Do we get money from this?
No, but we can ask questions. We can see if.
Oh yes, definitely. And I will mould earth and fill this grave in.
I believe we have some guards in the house to question potentially.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go back in. Head over my shoulder.
So with you,
Dripping blood.
Santa's coming.
with your various corpses and yes, heads, you head back to. So you're heading back to so with fleeting look, the
Can I
bound
stop
up
along
in
the way?
werewolf form.
I'll carry.
Can I go around towards the carriage and drop this off with the rest of our heads?
Yep, you can do that.
Cool.
Yeah, do
What about the corpse in a box?
You may
you
need that for something.
so you go to do that. Rudy's
In
still
case
there.
someone says, "Hey, do you know?" Like, police come and they're like, "Hey, do you know who started this?"
Oh, Seth, what you got there in that bag there? It's dripping, isn't it? It's Rudy
nothing much.
Rumbleguts looking down at you from sitting at his
Has-
perch on top of the carriage.
Why is he still there?
We told him to look out. We
I
told
thought
him
that
to
was
guard the
Alan.
coach. We put Rudy in charge of making sure
There's a supple there.
Doppelneris is still there.
She is inside now. Last week we asked.
Excellent.
No,
Rexan's
Rexan's looking
taken
after.
inside.
Rexan's looking after the guys upstairs, the two bound ones, along
and
with
the
Kajira.
doctor, we told him to take that.
Yeah,
take
we
it
did.
inside.
We brought the chest in.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
still well. Okay, Rudy's still there though. Like he hasn't been told to leave, so he's just there.
Cool. Rudy, you keep protecting because I don't think.
You said something about this statue here was important.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yes,
stay there. I'm
yes.
just going to leave this up with the other cloak that's got something in it. Just keep an eye out.
All right.
And,
Looks at Brucon like a little bit concerned towards you. Uncle. Yeah. Well, I'll be here until we're okay to leave.
Oh, for God's sake, Rudy. What happened to your group that you were
Well,
part
they're
of?
still here. We're not sure if it's safe to leave.
Oh well,
They're just in their carriage.
I think you're probably all right, but we'll go and investigate and let you know what the situation is. But go, there's no point in you sitting around out here in the chill. Go and enjoy yourself with your friends. Why don't you?
All right, I'll go chill with my friends. You don't have to tell me twice. Well, my employers, should I say? I'm a
yes.
roadie after all.
Yes.
Rudy the roadie.
Yes.
and we walk away.
Just you
And-
and
It was, and he goes grabs Rukon before you head off, and the rest of you can continue if you'd like. But
Yep.
it was good to see you again, Uncle.
Cousin.
I see cousin, uncle. Well, you're
Cousin,
weird.
uncle.
Nuncle.
After a little while, that family tree.
I think we
just went down.
we
was
like
cousin.
retroactively made him in. I don't know.
Did, oh, okay. Well, whatever. Anyway.
One of them. He's a relative.
Yeah.
He's a younger relative for
Sure.
sure.
Yep.
You know. Anyway, it was good seeing you again, and I really have used you as some inspiration. I know the family, maybe the rest of them weren't so keen on your decisions to join the monastery, but you know, you've been an interesting role model of sorts, and I'm, you know, looking to better myself. So, you know, thanks for doing you.
That feels like the band was coming into effect.
Oh well, I'm glad. I'm glad to have provided some sort of inspiration for you. I'm curious as to how it's wound up with you in a band, but who's to say that's not part of the great the great balance of the world. So, jolly good, Rudy, and I wish you all the luck in your travels.
Well, and to you as
Sober
well.
up a bit, eh?
You as well, of course. Well, I'm just going to go get pissed with my mate, the band, but
fine.
you know, I will, yeah, try not to get too overboard. I will save peeing off towers until we next meet.
We're so lucky there is this kid.
And he jumps off of the carriage and starts heading his way towards his bandmates.
Note to self: buy umbrella.
Yeah, so you guys get inside.
Yeah.
Yep.
Inside. Before we get inside, can we call out Rexland? Rexland, are you still here?
From upstairs.
Yes, yes, Master Chef. I'm looking after the charges. I'm still here.
Gonna carry Fleeting up the stairs by dragging him, so his head hits the stairs one at a time.
And yes, as you're going up the stairs, you do see a figure come from the right-hand side. Rex stands from the left-hand corridor, but you see from the right-hand side an older gentleman, kind of wiry white hair, which you recognise, leaning very heavily on a stick, quite a pawn on him. Doesn't look like he's walked around much for quite some time.
What's seems to be the situation here?
And you recognise this is Rory Wimbleford, Lord Belvedere's uncle.
I walked past because I understood none of that.
I will intercede that.
Yeah, that's it. Jesus.
I'm walking
Small
back,
chaps,
trying to-
but
trying to
immensely strong.
support Fleeting's head. Like, I think you're missing a. Yeah.
Gotta keep him unconscious. Just
A
drag past.
wolf, is it there? We've got him on the floor there.
Sure.
I'm dealing with this guy. He's all my.
It's been quite some time since I've heard about wolves in the area.
Greetings.
Interesting to see them in armour.
Yeah.
Thought they couldn't play cards, but maybe they can.
Werewolves, in fact, not just ordinary wolves. Werewolves. Tell me, would you happen to have noticed anything curious about your butler in the last few days?
Well, I, to be honest, don't have much dealings with the butler myself. He sometimes came in to adjust and fill up my decanter of whiskey and things, but generally I kept myself to myself. He much more attended to my nephew, the Lord Belvedere. Yes.
Did he get werewolfed?
Yeah, he got werewolf.
Where Belvedere's dead.
Where is he, by the way? In fact, where are all the guests? And why is that? Why are there 2 dead guards on the floor?
It has been 3 hours. Has no one come to find you?
No, I've been keeping to my study, and I saw your.
I'll take
I carry on dragging.
I saw the elephantine friend here. He came to visit.
I'm just.
Oh, you know, the elephantine persuasion.
As me and Leo leave, I'm just muttering, "Fucking guards, get one fucking job."
Come, let us sit as men do, and maybe you should pour
I
yourself.
like those women who don't sit ever.
I don't mind if I do.
I sit him down.
What do you mean manspreading?
Yeah. I pour him a whiskey and I explain the situation to him. That basically downstairs.
They're all dead, Dave. Everybody's dead,
people
Dave.
were poisoned. They became werewolves. They died. His nephew was one of the number that died, and he should probably start to figure out who's next in line for this.
Stage,
situation.
yeah. So, are you telling them that you guys had to kill the werewolf?
I'm saying
or...
that they died.
So, make a deception check.
Oh, deception!
Come on, Mr. Charismatic.
Which is so great.
Mr. Negative Charisma. Come on.
Oh, that was
so close. 7.
And he regards you with a slightly confused expression.
Well, surely it didn't just die. I mean,
Well, there was something of an altercation, and they are now.
would you say he was turned?
Yes, indeed, I'm afraid. It was most unfortunate. We attempted to stop the poisoning, but we failed.
It was a nefarious plot, my lord, and executed by an extremely dastardly group, and we're hot on their trail.
And
Oh, really?
do you have a pen or paper
Well, there's some in the adjoining room, yes. The next to the statue, yes. The little bust of the Almanac statue piece. Yes, it just points to the little adjoining room.
Okay, I grab and I, as best I can, sketch out that the cult village.
Yeah. The many masks thing. Yeah.
Does this mean anything to you? This
Ooh.
symbol?
Well, I am quite a learned man. I have been doing a lot of reading, but
Does he need to roll disadvantage for being pissed?
no, he's so used to being
this guy's been
He is
maintaining a 15-year buzz.
He is a
It's
functioning
like,
alcoholic.
Oh, disadvantage, rolls 3 dice. It's like, I got super disadvantage. He's fucked.
Everybody in this room has got pretty good constitution. at this point in
Well,
time.
the only
Nearly everyone.
You're not there.
aside from masked charades and balls and the like, this kind of. I heard from a travelling companion who went out to his schooner, large camels.
Right,
Oh,
okay.
out
Oh,
there.
I am quite familiar.
Anyway, he was he said that there was apparently a guild. Isk is run by guilds. I imagine you've been there, being that you're of the
Oh,
elephantine
I am indeed. Well, it's Loxodon, thank you.
Given your appendage to the nose
The
there.
nose has come up and I make the point that, yes, I am from Isk.
I've heard that you can tell a lot about a Loxodon by the size of his trunk.
Oh,
Very large shoes.
He's flirting with you.
I look down at my elephant feet that don't have shoes on, and I'm like, oh, very good, sir.
Very, very large, very wide. Anyway, so the guilds run Isk, right? And apparently he was saying that there was this guild, this group that operated underground, that were sort of, would try and force their way. Now, most of the guilds in Isk try and force their way to one degree or another, you know, it's corrupt oligarchical societies and what you expect was going to happen. But this particular guild sort of cast a shadow over the rest. They're known as the Guild of the Many Masks, and the mask is indeed what they use. I believe they believe in some kind of deity. I'm not entirely au fait with it, but yes, the similarities to Lucia, I believe, are there. You know, with the sun and moon face combined. You know, it's not too dissimilar to a mask, I suppose.
I am familiar with Lucia, and indeed Isk. Thank you, I apologize for the mess that has been created.
I apologize for killing everyone you know.
We will have some mopping up work to do, but we will leave you be.
Well, this is most egregious business, but you didn't choose for this to happen, so I will make the arrangements as best as I can.
I feel like there are several people in the party who quite like a long rest.
I think everybody in the
It's
party
like,
is-
Well, hang on,
it's like 2 in the morning.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay, so by the end of a long rest,
It'll be
fleeting
morning.
will be cool.
Yeah, you have that discussion. You leave Rory to his business, well, he's still drinking, trying to process everything that's happened, and go join the rest of your party with. Presumably, you're going to Rexland with.
Yes, we're going to add fleeting to the werewolf dog pile.
Goodness gracious! Rexland sort of immediately pulls out his greatsword and. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise that. That's the combining the two voices together. Brilliant.
Who is that Mr. Nook you have there?
As he went to go attack Fleeting, a hand went through him and said, shit, I was going to protect him. Fuck. It's like I like him.
Surely that isn't Mr. Look, is it?
That is Mr. Look.
Oh, good
It's,
gracious. Not
Happened
another
during the
one.
fight, so
What, how did you subdue the beast?
He's a PC.
same way for the others, but we'll have to wait for morning for them to turn back before we can travel.
He's as a
We'll rest here for the night.
anointed holy knight. He's pretty durable.
In the morning, we'll make our way to the closest town of Heroes Landing? Heroes Fall. No, it's not on there.
Heroes Landing is.
Heroes Fall, where is it?
Heroes Fall, yeah, Heroes. No, it's yeah. I
No,
know
is
what
it
you're
Heroes
talking
Landing? Heroes Landing.
Yes, it's Heroes Landing, but I was suddenly like King's Landing. I was like, no, we're not in that one. No, Heroes
Yeah.
Landing. You're right.
So Heroes Landing. We'll make our way to Heroes Landing in the morning with any survivors and the people transformed back to see if we can get help
Yeah, we can
for the
basically-
cure.
Was that her?
no, that was.
I'm just thinking who's the chief
Uh,
representative?
Oh, the chest is in the room with the werewolves.
Oh, you brought it in with you, yeah.
No, the chest with the doppelganger.
Oh yeah, it's in there. Yeah.
For them.
Shall
Or
we,
is she still in it?
She's
It's
doing it.
still in it.
shall we put the werewolves in a room and lock it, and then find somewhere to bed down with the
Can we-
doppelganger?
Can we long rest in the same room as them? Like they're all unconscious to make sure they don't wake up because we're kind of the only ones that can stop them.
I mean, it's you can do. You'd have to keep the watch, but yes, you could do that. So because you can do 2-hour watches each.
Can we get the
Well,
guards
we've got,
that we don't like to watch?
we've got an elf.
I can
We
also.
don't have their
And only full elves. They're half elves.
There's
Okay.
I could leave the rats in the room with them, and if they see the werewolves getting up, if they see them getting up, they can run back to us and let us know.
Thanks for the offer, Nibbles. We'll take that under advisement.
Who is Nibbles? Hulking half-orc.
I love it when
Comes
the,
away from
when the voice cracks out. It's like we know who that is, but it's just
Time.
Oh, right. No, that doesn't count. That's not,
Who
not
is
long enough.
Nibbles?
magic
What
talking
is
rat.
this?
What about... it's difficult to exactly describe our relationship with him, but he's a sentient rat that we came across in the course of our adventures. And yes, I think if I had to come up with a phrase to describe him, I suppose hitchhiker would probably be
Oh.
first on the list.
Where
Anyway,
do you
here he is.
find-
Nibbles, meet Kojira, adventurer and axe wielder extraordinaire.
You are talking rat. What? A hand? Oh,
Now it is.
I need to do another one. It's too far deep. It's too deep.
you are too
The dwarves
cute.
delved too greedily and too deep.
You are
Jack time to the
you are
max.
too cute. I like this. Where do you find this? Is it something you find in
It was
wild?
in the no, definitely not in the wild. It was in the service of some insane rat individual.
We had to go into a basement,
We did.
and we found all sorts of ratty goodness.
It's curious, really, because it couldn't scarcely have been 2 weeks ago, but it feels like a month. It's been a very busy. It's been a very busy time. Anyway, no,
You'll find
definitely not spontaneously naturally occurring.
You'll
Are
find-
you, Nibbles?
You'll find many rat in basement.
Yes, we
I mean-
did. Some of them were also spiders.
You'll fight rat.
We're all in the same
Oh.
room.
We're all in the same room. So Leopold is standing in a swarm of rats.
Yeah.
It's just like around his left.
Malon now realises this,
Should
freaks
be-
the fuck out and leaves the room.
Should be studying says Jack time. Yay.
Jack time.
I'll do another one in the not too distant future.
What where you get rat from?
Magic.
Oh, magic. Oh, right.
Stuff, proudly.
So,
It's on loan.
so what we do? You want me watch wolves or what else?
Oh yeah,
Wolves-
that would
if
be
you watch
excellent.
the wolves, we'll take a rest and we'll make
Dragon Man and I watch wolves. We have
Yes.
for some time. What happened to your friend?
New Wolfman.
Should I kill him?
No,
No.
not yet.
So quick to interject there, sir.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
Should we study the production value though of the voice acting?
It's the same voice 3 different times, but thank you very much.
Thanks.
the budding buddy
we're
romance.
we're leaving them to watch the werewolves overnight. Should we go to grab like some rooms?
Yeah,
Malor has departed already because
Who's
he's
left?
yeah,
So has everyone left?
and also,
Rooms.
yeah.
Rooms.
Well, Brucon is staying and chatting with Kojira.
So when you leave the room, those of you who are leaving,
I'm staying for a moment.
those of you who do leave, so is that just you? Alan?
Yeah, no.
Before Seth's gone, because you guys were inspecting the chest in the maze
Mm-hmm.
that I could see but not deal with. Neobrint is going to drop the owls and detect magic to
Okay.
see if your chest is still a magic chest.
Okay.
Is it?
No.
No.
No longer seems to have any magical essence to it.
Sorry,
Oh,
Seth,
that's
your treasure hall is
Hopefully one day we can
It's
cast
just
hide corpse.
just a
That
corpse hall.
would be a useful spell.
Malar, as you exit the room, you notice, because now you're back in the main entranceway, the largest room in the place. You can see obviously the dragon painting mural on the ceiling and so on, the mountain range. But what catches your attention is the figure coming in through the main entrance, human, wearing, most noticeably with his magical shield and and his brown and black robes of brawn. You see
Howland.
Howland Cragmere, yes, coming in and
Just
immediately makes a
Howland.
beeline for you, just him on his own.
No Laney.
Oh, Mr. Shade Creek. If I found Laney and Gant. They're safe. They're well, but I'm afraid we need to
partially good
take our carriage back. Seems we have business back in Bron.
Very well. I will remove some of our personal belongings, and we are going to stay here the night and ensure that the situation is. We leave in good stead, but we believe we may have some sort of a
Wait a
lead.
minute. Oh, okay, yeah, never mind.
The Guild of Many Masks, Lucian cult. We found one of their disciples, and who is disguised as the butler, who we subsequently also found dead.
Oh.
I would take this knowledge back with you. Warn all of the.
Should we study in?
Should be studying upstairs. I better head off.
Definitely
It's
should.
5 a.m. But
5
thank
a.m.
you for the stream.
Yes, you
I'm
should.
super glad I found your channel.
Oh,
Have a great
wow.
evening. Right.
Oh.
Yes, thank you for watching.
Okay,
Thank you so
that's
much, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yes, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Don't start studying.
Catch
now.
up on YouTube in the morning.
Eastern.
So sorry, you were saying.
Way further than east.
So yeah, you said about the you relayed the information to him.
Take this
Right.
back. Tell the rest of the crows, flies, and
Japan,
anybody else in
New Zealand.
positions of power that there may be
8 hours.
moves ahead to
8 hours
subvert.
Oh.
Spies in Isk. Right.
Indeed. In fact, Mr. Your liege lord may find that information useful, and you can
I
let
am
him
sure
know
he will.
that, I have given this to him in
Straight.
good faith.
Right. I shall see it delivered.
We had an experience a little while ago. We were told we may need allies. After this endeavour, Mr. Howland, can we call you an ally?
Well, I don't see why not. You're certainly not an enemy. And to yourself and to the rest of your group, you're welcome to visit Hawksfall Keep anytime you like. Me and Laney and the rest of House Cragmere will be in attendance, and of course we'll put you up as best as we can.
We may take you up on that sometime. I will help you take, and I basically help him take all the fucking stuff off the roof that is ours.
Yeah.
It's only one statue and 2 heads.
That's fine. I can. I've got an arm, and a trunk. I'll be fine. I shake his hand as he.
But what is going in what?
And,
statue.
yeah. Shake his hand, and Gant kind of comes up behind you and claps you on the back, and he says,
Stab him.
"All right, you're welcome to keep the trunk as well. I'm sure I can get others. But thanks for the assist with the werewolves. I will be sure to pass on your good work to the rest of us here in House Bron and in the Crowflies, and of course, I probably should say something to the Grenforths about Lady Helene.
We will be remedying her situation as soon as we can reasonably deduce something to do with that.
Spirit weapon and knife. Stab him.
No, I'll keep an eye out for those Rookwoods. I hear they're not very trustworthy.
Stab him.
Indeed. We will
I think he
travel safe, Lord Braun.
I think.
Alan, a pleasure, Laney. Go with you.
Oh, one last thing.
Did I mention I'm a master?
That's not visible to the.
I don't need it to be.
He pulls out he pulls out a quill and a bit of scrap of paper, and he writes on it, folds it up. If you're going to stay at the inn, the Miner's Arms, on your way home, give that to the landlord.
Stab him!
Stab him so hard.
You hear from upstairs. Stab him! I don't know he's there, but just stab him.
And turns around and starts climbing in the carriage, and Lane just kind of nods to you. Thanks for your help, Mr. Shade Creek.
The trunk waves
I won't
back.
forget you. Neither will I. Neither do I, Laney. Howland pats her on the back.
I will
You did
wave
good.
them- yeah, okay. As they depart, I wave them off, and then I sigh, wake up the statue, and go back inside.
Okay.
Try and find a room.
Try and find a room for the night to bed down. So that leaves the rest of you. Is there anything else you want to do before resting?
No.
No!
No, I need to go.
Time-wise,
No, that's fair. I'm good. I'm just
There
checking.
is
Next time. Okay, so we'll stop it there. So you guys bed down for the evening, ready to depart in the morning, hopefully with your werewolf charges now back in human form. That's okay. We'll call it for a day there.
Thick plottons.
It does indeed. When one door closes, another opens. Thank you very much for watching. A big thank you, we should say, to Midge, our resident guest on the show, playing Howland. Unfortunately, couldn't be here for the last two, but he was here for so many that that's
so
fair
many
enough.
beyond what we've done.
Yeah, exactly.
He
So
done good.
he done good, and hopefully you'll cross paths with Howland again. We'll see in the future. Anyway, thank you all very much.
Adios.
Diary will be back on Friday. Join me for that 5 p.m. And these guys will be back on Monday 6 p.m. Very exciting. Exciting news coming next week. We'll talk more about that then. Thank you all and good night.
Good.